Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Ben.
Hello.
We are back. I successfully arrived in my country. Ben is in his, so
I successfully stayed in mine.
That's right. Frank's saying he's checking out the Blackhawks games, getting his Legion fix. But hey, just FYI on the spoilers, and I forgot to put a logo up, but it is now baseball season. So the only official rule that I will enforce on the podcast is there's never allowed to be any Jays baseball spoilers because the game is currently on, and I watch every single game, all 162, all the innings, all the pitches, and I don't like to miss any or get any spoilers. So not Legion related, but if you ever want to get on my bad side, that is how you do it.
However, we will be spoiling all of The Mandalorian and all of Bad Batch.
Yeah.
That's totally fair game.
Everything.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Everything else is spoil country. So, so Ben and I are going to spend for a significant portion of the next hours here recapping our Adepticon experience. We both had I won't speak for Ben, but I think we had really good experiences. I know that because I basically spent most of my experiences within like 15 feet of Ben. So but LJ is saying he's using the mug tonight, Ben, by the way. So,
hey,
real question
very good.
Is it for paint or is it for coffee or is it for both? Real.
If you're not paying attention, it's for both.
Right.
Otherwise, you can use it for whatever you like. That was the idea. You know, we were trying to think like, what do people have or that they give out? What's something that you could feasibly use that would be nice? And I was just like, I love a good old classic mug, because if you have too many mugs for coffee, you got one for your paint cup, so you can bring it into your hobby that way.
Right. Anthony with the chat message, which I hope is grossly exaggerated. Also, we can't be friends, and yeah. So I really hope that's not accurate.
Woof.
Yeah, this guy, So Anthony wasn't invited to Adepticon for obvious reasons. One, giving spoilers.
Invite only.
Exactly. But we are going to talk a lot about Adepticon. I had a blast at Adepticon, getting there, doing all the things. We have a weekend full of funny sayings and phrases, and we captured even one of them in the show title tonight. So if you're wondering, what is that all about? J-Rod explained to us as we went out to, what was that restaurant we went to, Ben?
We went to Portillo's.
Oh, Portillo's, yeah. And we spoke most of the evening about living our real call center dreams, and maybe a little bit about being a DJ came in there as well. So yeah, living those call center dreams. Tonight is us, and don't forget at the end of the show, you can use our call center, of which I did not change tonight, but officially next week it will be now changed to the call center. I forgot to do that this week, so it'll be called Roundtable tonight, but really it's about call center dreams. And not to be offensive to anyone who works in a call center. But yeah, we have a whole host of things, some funny stories, obviously. Some Legion was played, and some times were had, and we'll do our best to recount that. In addition, we'll talk about all the spoilers at Adepticon. We'll talk about our interactions and thoughts about AMG and how the weekend went. LJ's in the chat, and we'll speak about the event as well. We will speak about our event and interactions. And then we obviously have some AMG spoilers today, or reveals, I guess. Today spoiled already at Adepticon and before, and then actual reveals. Ben's going to get into all the Ahsoka thoughts and hot takes. We'll have a roundtable at the end, and we'll update a few other things. And we got a little bit of a slideshow here just for some of the pictures. And then Ben is putting together, we don't have it ready this week, but Ben is putting together sort of a vlog from the weekend, and you may or may not see an appearance by myself or others in that, and so we'll share that live on our show when there's no spoilers, Ben, no spoilers.
My bad.
When that's done. So Anthony's worked at a call center, worst job ever. You know what, Anthony, for spoiling the Jays score, you deserve that experience. You deserve that for sure. So can I boost my mic? I won't boost my mic, but I'll talk a little bit more into it. Sorry, I'm trying to read the show notes at the same time. But if I just speak like that, Patrick, I think I'll be much better
Show
for you.
notes.
So
What an
yeah.
amateur. You're just supposed to fly off the seat of your cuff, man.
Well, I'm reading the show notes and the chat at the same time. So Patrick, let me know if this is better. I will boom my voice right into here. This microphone's really really good, so when I yell at people that way, it doesn't hurt your ears. But let me know if that works. So Ben, why don't you start off and just talk a little bit about wherever you want to go for the weekends. Our weekend experience. Oh, by the way, let me jump back 1 second. I want to drop a couple more things. Then Ben can take it away. Sorry, Ben. This is my show. Live at those call center dreams. That's what the episode's all about. 159, by the way. So nearly to 160, which is quite impressive that we've prattled on that long and two found content to talk about. Secondly, I want to just mention that season 2, league round 4 is in progress. I would say in progress for everyone except for myself because I have actually played a single game. Don't despair, my group. I will play you guys. I have 10 days upcoming. Perfect. There we go, Patrick. And I will be playing all my games within probably the span of 10 days to catch up and get that complete. And then last but not least, Friday Night Fights will be back this week. And good news, a couple good news items. We believe we have maybe up to 4 new players in our local area. So that means new meat for the grinder. I mean new players for the studio. And so we're hoping to get some new players. I actually showed a player this weekend at a tournament I was at in a skirmish game. I just basically walked them through the ropes. Another player that was there did that in the next round. And hopefully we have some new players. So up to potentially 4 new players, as well as our other local 3 hours away. Scene has got some new players as well. So we are anticipating some growth, which is great for us. Okay, and over to you, Ben. Take it away. What happened? What do you want to talk about? Where do you want to go?
Well, I guess it only is fair to start with saying, in broad strokes, that this was my first Adepticon. It wasn't my first convention or my first gaming convention or anything like that, but this was my first, Adepticon for sure. And I had been told so many things about it, of like what to expect, and having gone to Gen Con and stuff, I knew kind of roughly what to expect. I was told it was basically like the tabletop gaming, the miniatures gaming portions of Gen Con, just kind of in a smaller capacity, which is pretty much exactly what I was told and what I expected, and it's pretty much what I got. So it was very nice. I loved the convention center. I was able to do something I've never been able to do at Gen Con. I was able to park at the event. Can't do that at Gen Con.
Did you
If
remember
at Gen
where
Con,
we
you have
parked,
to.
though, Ben? That's the real question.
Yes, every time, and Sean would ask. We parked in the same spot every single time, and Sean would be like, "Where did we park today? Do you know where we parked?" And I'm like, "Yes, we parked in the same spot every day." But the convention center, if you want to park at Gen Con, you have to buy a parking badge. You have to park at their parking lots, which are like 3 or 4 blocks away from the convention center, and then you take a shuttle. So much easier situation this year, where I was able to just park the car, grab all the stuff, leave some of my stuff in the trunk because I don't have to shuttle back and forth between the car, and then just walk into the convention center. So that was super nice. Otherwise, the events themselves, there was a whole smorgasbord of games. Obviously, this is a Star Wars Legion show, so we're going to be mostly highlighting Star Wars Legion, to which I can say many, many beautiful tables, which you'll see some pictures of in a little bit, and many, many even more beautiful people that were there. So, loved seeing everybody there. Bumped into a whole bunch of faces that I both knew and didn't know. Made a whole bunch of friends, and so it was a really good turnout, and Worlds filled up. Is what I was told. So like we had the full bracket of everybody. Everybody showed up for the bracket that could be filled. It wasn't. I don't think it was all like original people, because we had some that came in the last chance qualifier, right?
Right.
So we had everybody kind of fill Worlds up exactly at capacity, which was glorious. The event, mwah, chef's kiss, not a single problem, no drama that I heard about, no nothing.
Yep, very, very, very excellent. Maybe what we'll do, Ben, is we'll kind of walk through. Maybe we'll walk through through our days, and we can talk a little bit of some highlights of those days and what we kind of did. But
Yeah,
I think we'd be remiss. So Ben and I, we did not stay in the same room, but we stayed literally across the hallway from each other.
about as close
Ben,
as we can without being in
yeah,
the same room.
exactly. So Ben had the privilege of staying with J Rod, and I was staying with my friend Christian, who Ben now knows. So he might be able to call him a friend. I don't know. I don't. You got to use that term carefully around those French Canadians.
We're
But
we're friends until you. For me, we're friends until you decide actively not to be my friend.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So Ben's standard is a little lower than mine. That's fine. I'm not even quite sure about Ben myself,
So
but
low,
you know,
so low.
Jace just mentioned he got home. We'll get him in. We'll get him in the show. We'll get him in the show drops as we kind of progress through here. So. Jace probably will jump you in as soon as I start to get to the Twitter feed. So I might get Ben to ping you the link, the join in link. So anyway, so yeah, so we started off. We all traveled in separately, meeting up on the Wednesday evening. Oh, there you go. J Rod's in the chat. Nice, nice. I got something for you, buddy, here in a second. So we all came in separately, met up
Oh,
basically at.
that's Jared. That's not J
Oh,
Rod.
sorry. Oh, sorry. I thought I
He
said
just,
J Rod in there.
I know.
Can confirm. Fair enough. Sorry, I just quickly glanced there. So, Jared, you're good in my books, and you're J Rod just to me as well. Um, yeah, we all met up at the hotel once we got that all sorted out. It was pretty good, pretty epic. We got sorted in the hotel. Then we went out and had a great meal. We met up with several of our Polish friends and some new Polish friends as well that Christian and I had known from some ETC pasts. At the supper, Kyle came over and was chatting with us and had dinner with us. And then we all slid over to the venue to get our badges. Ben can probably attest way quicker than Gen Con for sure.
Yes.
The lineup looked not as long, but certainly a long lineup, but it moved very expeditiously. I think it was due to the no bottlenecking and no congesting that they kept yelling at us not to do. It was very regimented. We moved through. We got a heck of a great swag bag, and I'm actually kind of glad I didn't get the VIG badge now because I couldn't even take home everything that I got in the what was it called, premium? I
No.
think premium bag. Is
Yeah,
that
the
what we got?
premium badge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will say, while the Adepticon registration process, let's just say, could have went smoother, there was nothing to be left to be wanting in any of the bags, like the VIG bag,
No.
the premium bag. They were amazing. A ton of good stuff. I did some tradesies, got some more Legion stuff, some cool stuff in there you can just use for various bits. Like, and we're not talking like one model on a sprue kind of thing. We're talking either full starters or full kits or full sprues, boxes of Legion, a Hydra tank for MCP, $45 value dice sets. Like there was a really good value there. They did a great job on that. So full praise to them. And then after we basically got registered, we just went and hung out for the night, and it was nice because most of us had really a chill day on Thursday. We weren't in the last chance qualifier. Christian started playing some Kings of War. And I'm not quite sure if he even finished 2 turns by the end of the weekend. That game seemed to be exceptional. So I kid. He got lots of games in. But Christian basically did games all weekend, separate from us, but we had the ability to go check in on him and him on us. And then we just hung out and just talk Legion Thursday. So it was kind of, I really appreciated going in early and just being able to take in the Legion games on Thursday, watch other people play, and great atmosphere. I had a real big buzz there. Then we rolled into Friday game one of Worlds. So Ben, why don't you talk about your experience day one Worlds?
Day one Worlds. Well, I'll go ahead and it's no secret anymore, so I can definitely go ahead and just reveal all of this information on the table. I was not really looking forward to moving on Saturday. I was not looking to progress to Worlds, and I told Sean and some of the other people what I was basically going through. I was like, here's the thing. I know what my skill level is. I know what the skill level is of the people who are here. I didn't practice. I'm not a sweaty competitive player. Like even to say not sweaty, I'm just not a competitive player. I just don't really get to that. I mean, I can make competitive choices. I can play competitively a little bit. I just don't do so much that I'm like getting all worked up and like, oh man, I really have to progress to the like my competitive Legion goal that I set for myself years ago was to qualify and play in Worlds. And by literally making it, I've succeeded in that goal. So I was totally done. I was like, if I make literal last place in this tournament, I will not care. And in fact, I kind of wish I did because I was because the guy who got last actually got a bunch of Legion products, so that was pretty cool.
That's actually a super funny story, and we'll
Yeah.
make sure we highlight that for sure.
Um, but the but yeah, so I was literally going into this like I just want to play 3 good games, have 3 good opponents, have 3 dice times, and just ride the day out. And where we sit, we sit. I just hope I don't accidentally win 2 of my games so that I progress to Saturday because I already scheduled myself for other games and events throughout the weekend. So I don't want to accidentally stomp on those by playing Legion that I know I won't win in the end. So thankfully, we did not have that score. We went a nice, solid, good, classic 0-3 on on day one of Worlds. So my day one of Worlds was also my last day.
Let's be clear. There was no. I don't think there was any like. This wasn't your local tournament where you may or may
No,
not have matched up against the guy who got the starter set like 3 weeks ago, or
no.
inherited a Legion army on a trade for for his Sigmar army. There was all people who won an invite doing something successful in Legion. So
Oh yeah.
every game was a meat grinder. I finished up the weekend at 3-3, and I will attest that every game I won I could have lost, and every game I lost I could have won. Like or felt like I was in every aspect of that. One game was a bit of a tough matchup, but really finished up as a 2-1, and dice going another way on a particular roll could have probably helped me significantly in that one. But we'll have 100 stories like that, and we're not really going to focus on that because we played a lot of games of Legion, right? 6 games of Legion for me. Ben played his games plus narrative plus we all played a lot of games on the weekend. I played a couple of the games I'm going to highlight, not just Legion, but just elements of Adepticon I want to capture. But there was no easy games. My opening day, I think I probably could have went 3-0. I had a bit of a tough judge call, but I'm going to just talk about the lesson in that and not so much the element of the game, but. The games were all great, and no easy ones. I went against and I prepped a lot playing, and for Blizzard Force. I faced 0 Blizzard Force in 6 games. So I was a little disappointed. That being said, though, just for moving forward, I went to a tournament just this last weekend. And I played in my 2-0 matchup. I played Blizzard Force, which was great, and I beat them. And probably quite early, I established the lead in that one because I had a pretty good game plan. But that's ironic. I traveled all the way to Chicago to play, hopefully, some Blizzard Force, of which there was a ton, and faced none, and had to come home locally to face one, which is fairly ironic. But all the games were good. I played against Echo Base. I played against Remnant, and quite a bit more Remnant than I thought. And it seems to be quite a competitive list. I want to take another hard look at Remnant, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But a ton of Empire all across the board. And then my third game on day one that I needed to play to advance, I got matched up against Rob Kopp, who's an excellent player and very efficient droid player. I was one of 4 droid players to make day 2, I think, and it's unfortunate that I actually knocked out a droid player in that third game to not advance. So I do feel bad about knocking out a fellow CIS, but my
Oh.
list going against a double Ion Snail list, with also B2s, heals, and a ton of B1s, wasn't my ideal matchup to draw for round 3 to get in. So that was a bit of a tough one for sure. I was able to crunch that out and get into day 2. And then that put us, kind of into the Saturdays. So fast forward, we finish up. I made the comment after the Friday play that
Oh,
felt like 30. Go ahead, Ben.
can I throw something in?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
just want to say, so like I noticed it when I was talking to somebody the other day about like my games and everything, and just kind of recalling the events. We had a really good representation of a Worlds event
Absolutely.
because all three of my opponents that I played throughout the day were from three separate continents. We
Excellent.
had people literally from all over the world coming to this event, and not in like one number here, one European, one Australian. No, there was a smorgasbord, like I said earlier. Like there was a lot of people from all over. My first opponent was from the UK, my second one was from Australia, my third one was from Chile. So we had a huge representation of all kinds of people from all over, and I really, really loved seeing that. That was really awesome.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any question whether we call it a worlds or whether it was a representation of
No,
the world
that was.
that's to bed, at this point. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, fair. Outrider Dan pointing out there was no one from Antarctica. That is correct.
I didn't say
Um,
every continent, all right?
yeah, yeah, fair.
I
But
just said there was many continents.
yeah. Well, you know what? He's just being thorough. So we'll point that out.
Sure, sure.
But yeah, I made the comment
We'll
to
change
the
that next
guys.
year.
Yeah, fair. We'll go down and throw a qualifier. That day one to me felt like I'm not even kidding you. Felt like 30 minutes. The time flew by.
Oh
Now
yeah.
that being said, Thursday where I hung out and just watched nothing but Legion all day. That was more of a grind. I was more sore, tired, and feeling lethargic after watching Legion on Thursday than I was after playing, and the mental drain of the games on Friday. So yep, you bet. So yeah, moving into Saturday, we're right back in. I was playing in day two. A bunch of other folks that we know are playing in day two. I think Ben's like sliding over a supper meal here. So sweet, yes,
You don't know.
excellent. What a co-host. So yeah, we went
You have
into
no
to
idea.
day two. Opening game for me was really tough. Double darks, IRG Palp in rapid reinforcements on key positions. Really uphill battle for me. The pivotal point for me is when I put 8 into Palp and he saves 7, and then
Ugh.
kind of it's just a beginning of the end there. And that was a pre now you'll die turn, and so that was really pivotal for me. I kind of went all in on that, expecting bigger results. I just didn't get them, and I lost. That was to B's excellent player. By the way, he ended up going the same record as me after that on day two. Just the irony of that, kind of like his list, matched up very well against mine, and clearly less against others. I'm not saying he didn't perform well, but I would imagine he played as tough a games after game one against me as I played after playing him. So. But just exceptionally good games. Everything was a grind. Everything was close. My second game was an MOV loss, and my last game was a 2-1 on the final play win for me. So, like I said, every game I was in, every game was back and forth. I was happy with going 3-3 for the weekend, only because I felt like, being 50-50 against that, I felt like every game was kind of a 50-50 toss-up. So I think my record bore out what I was anticipating. So, um, but a lot of good lists. Ben said a lot of great tables, well painted armies. Players were very cordial, all good. Even though we were all like grinding. I said I was playing the sweatiest games of Legion, meaning like I was sweating. The plays were all tight. Judges were excellent too.
Mm-hmm.
It's you didn't have to wait long to get a judge call. They were as fair as they could be. I had a lengthy judge call, and the judges really did what they could in the scenario. I will just say this: if you are about to do something that you think maybe somebody might not understand or fully agree with, or there could be some sort of thing on the table that needs to develop, just call ahead of time. I have done this before in an LVO, and I had called a judge to before I did a winning move, because I knew that my opponent may or may not fully understand what I was trying to do, or I
What you
didn't
were
want to.
doing.
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
not understand. It's not even a good word, but really just making sure that I was everything was on the up and up, and this was too. But table state was so scrambled because we were both rushing both players to finish, and so the judge made the call he could make in the time. My opponent was of a particular stance. I was too. My opponent was fine. We were all good. In the end, it's just there was not real. I wouldn't say a disagreement. I would say just a difference of opinion on how something played out. But just call your judge. Everything was good. I'm good. I'm not. I don't have any sore feelings about it. I advanced. He advanced. It's all water under the bridge, and it wasn't a fight at anything. But I'm just going to say that the judges are there to help with scenarios before they get murky or muddy or needed to be sorted, and
Mm-hmm.
to use them. And I both of us rushing, we probably could have just cleaned that up way quicker, and it would have been ruled one way or the other. It was. We agree with that. We didn't need an appeal. We just move on. So, but they were good. They were around. I chatted a bunch to Nima, and during the semifinal game, him and I basically stood and watched a very excellent game. I want to talk a little bit about that as well. That was the matchup with the Remnant Battle Force. Battle Force against the Black Sun list, the Pink Suns, if it will,
Pink
and just
Suns.
yeah, just excellent play. Like I loved taking in the atmosphere and watching other people play either units that I don't or units that I do differently or how they played. And I seen some things that I might say, you know what, I might have done this differently, and kind of understanding what they were doing and why they did the things they did. And then also coming to the realization later that, you know what, all that high level play, we still all make errors and mistakes, and hearing them talk about afterwards, I should have done this, I should have done that, and even asking people like the why, not the interrogative why, like why would you do that, but more like what was the rationale there, what were you thinking, and why was it that you took this route and approach, just to fully understand what was happening. And I think that was really a cool part of that. Nobody was trying to secret tech. We're all there playing the list that we took. It wasn't about kind of being like close to the chess legion. Like I was chatting to Luca right after, basically I think between 2 and 3 on day one, and just kind of picking his brain about his approach with his list in terms of how he was facing and dealing with particular units, and he was fine to share, and kind of had great conversations. And I'm sure Ben can probably attest that he had a bunch of great Legion conversations throughout the week. So
Oh
I
yeah.
wanted, yeah, and I just wanted to give some praise, and we'll talk a little bit about AMG when we get through the reveal here. But everything was very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Registration was fine. I had to remember to verify my matches, so Game Uplink worked exceptionally well. I thought the only thing for me was two things. I needed to remember when you finish a game to do the slide bar for who wins, because it's not intuitive. Even if you put the highest score in, if you don't slide that bar over, you can have somebody like win 2-4. And so you got to make sure you do that and verify your games, which is
Mm-hmm.
something I had to try to remember as I was going through. Here's the thing: in fairness, when you finish a game, win, lose, or draw, you kind of had that like moment where you just sort of come down, and you're not necessarily thinking about all the things you need to do. I'm starting to like replay that game. How did that go?
Yep.
What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What do I need to get right for the next game? The mental taxation remained basically for 6 to 7 hours for each of those days as you kind of grinded through. So, and even if you lost a game on day two, for me, it wasn't like there's no point in trying. I don't know how many drops there was, if there was any, but I felt like people were like just in it no matter what, if they were advancing or not. They were playing you tough to the very last dice roll. At least I felt my opponents were. So yeah, good experience. Shout outs to whole crew, John and LJ's wife as well, for dealing with dealing with us folks for the balance of the weekend. The stream looked like it was on point for sure. I actually haven't watched any of the streams because I've just been super busy. Getting out there. You go. Fair enough. We have some judges and some organizers in the chat right there. So
Yay.
yeah.
You
So
guys did an amazing job. Thank you so much for the event.
yeah. We'll just throw this up on right there. There we go.
Of
So
course,
Emily,
of
yeah,
course.
of course, yep.
Yes, yes.
And it's just putting up with us. You got to get some praise for that as well. So no, exceptionally fun. I enjoyed my first Adepticon as well. Like Ben was saying, his first, and it'll be on the recommendation list for sure. And we'll get into a few other highlights if you haven't been there. So go ahead, Ben.
I was gonna say there's speaking if we're talking about how great the judges were and everything, there was a sweet system in place that I loved and hope they continue to bring back because I love this kind of stuff. Obviously, it was for more people like me and not people who and the people who were just trying to have some fun with their games and stuff, even if they weren't doing significantly well on the scoreboard. There was I think they called it the golden
Golden
ticket.
ticket, golden tickets. Yep.
Yeah, that they would go around. The judges would have a stack of them in their hand, and if they witnessed you, I think per quote, just being an awesome person or being an awesome player, doing something, making the game exceptionally fun, or just doing something that all overall promoted, like a positive outlook on the game experience, and a judge witnessed it, they would give you a golden ticket. And that golden ticket you could then take over to the prize table, like whenever your game was done or in between rounds, whenever you had a minute. And there was a whole slew of prizes on this table that were like super cool. So there was like alt art cards from previous events. So like those, you remember those like holographic unit cards like Cad Bane and Padme and those that they came out with. I don't remember what event those came out with or what opened that what event that was, but I know it was a pretty significant one. And they had those. They had some of the extras of like the prizes that they gave us later. So like they had some of the boxes and stuff.
Yep.
And then the first thing that I dove on, they had the clear dice, the clear white dice and the clear red dice. They had bags of them, and I was just like, "Oh, a whole bag of clear white dice? Yes, please." So my first gold ticket was slapped down on the table immediately when I saw that. I was like, "Give me that! I need this guy."
So
So
I gotta make a reveal to Ben because he probably doesn't know, but I talked to LJ and Emily real nice and John, and I got about maybe 7 or 8 bags of those red and white and clear dice
what?
to bring back here to the Saskatchewan folks. So I actually gave them out. I
Look at
gave them
that!
to some of the players this weekend at the new tournament. I said, "Here you go. You guys are new players. Here you go, some swag." So that's what they were intended for, to
There you
kind of
go.
spread in your local community. So
Spread the joy.
I definitely did that this weekend, so everybody got them. So yeah, we'll definitely do. We'll spread that out for sure. I actually got a golden ticket in my first game as well, and I went right for one of those Boba Fett boxes, of which we got another one. So now I have a set of bookends, which is super awesome. Those are
There you go.
fantastic, full of foam and full of minis. So yeah, just a ton of good stuff. Like just I want to cycle back to that day one LCQ last place finisher. Don't know name, but it's not important. The joke being basically like, you didn't do that well in this one, but here's your prize. And I think, if I correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, but did he not get a Blizzard Force and some Dark Troopers to
He
just
got
sudden?
he got a Blizzard Force, Dark Troopers. I think maybe Moff Gideon was in there. I have the video of them
Mhm.
doing it, so I know exactly what it was. But
Right.
yeah, I remember it was the main thing was that it was Blizzard Force and Dark Troopers. Like they were
Yep.
in on the joke.
Yep. It's just like, here you
I
go. You
love
didn't
that.
do that well, but
Your army
here's the
didn't
easy
do
button.
well.
Yep.
Here's an army that will do well for you.
Yeah, better luck next time.
Yeah.
The irony is he wins Worlds next year, just foreshadowing right now. Hot take.
Oh
Um,
shoot.
yeah, so that was.
Thankfully, I won't qualify for that one, so I'll miss that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, I don't know. Remember, there's always Antarctica. We could start a
Oh,
qualifier
there's
down
the
there. So
Antarctic Open.
yeah, exactly. So AMG present all weekend. Got a chance to speak to a number of folks there, which was fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed those conversations. Got to talk to Anne. I got to talk to Simone. I didn't talk to Dallas, but because he was very busy at the paint station, the submissions for the AMG painting competition, which looked like it was very very busy. I talked to Tony. I saw Will. I saw other Will. And yeah, it was busy. Their presence was definitely felt throughout the weekend, which was great because that's kind of my first chance to connect. And they were out there. They were present. They were visible. They were doing all kinds of things. C. Davis streaming in a parka. He was in a parka. I
Was
didn't
he? I don't remember that.
yeah, me either. But I mean, I felt it was warm enough that in there
I
probably would
had
have been overkill. I
I
think
had
so.
like one interaction with him over the weekend. Well, I know I gave him like the Dice Time bundle of swag that I gave to the
You
people that
did,
I
you did.
recognized and that I saw, and I gave one to LJ as well at the same, I think around the same time. But I bumped into him and I was just like, here you go. And then I saw him Saturday. I had like totally lost my voice Friday, and that'll reflect in the video when you hear me talking like this the rest of the weekend. Um, and I had cough drops with me, and apparently they didn't help me at all, but that's fine. But I was going around like Saturday morning for everyone that was still in Worlds, and I was just like, "Hey, yo, cough drop? You need a cough drop?" And I went over to Endless is talking all day. I'm like, "Yo, man, you want some cough drops?" He was like, "No, we're good, thanks." And then like I went over and went and talked to Pally or somebody who was over there, and Endless walks up to me and he's like, "Hey, so I stupidly declined your generous offer of cough drops earlier. Is that offer still available?" And I was like, "Yes, absolutely." Just gave him a handful of cough drops, and I was just like, "Keep up the great stream, man."
Good Samaritan, sir. Good Samaritan. So
Mm-hmm.
all right, well let's kind of work. We didn't get into any of the housekeeping. I'll rip through that real quick, and then let's
Nah,
get into all the things.
lost
Well,
it.
I better. But I also wanted to say, just while we were there, obviously I was trying to speak and do the rounds and see the people that I know from other gaming communities, whether it's Flames of War or John over at DGS Games or bumping into people I don't know who kind of know me or kind of know the work, which was awesome. And I'm really pleased to say, and we don't have anything finalized. It's just ongoing since we've been home, but I'm pretty sure, and I'm fairly confident to say that we are going to be working out a new deal with War Scenery to feature some of the terrain on the table. Excellent group out of Germany. Had a couple conversations with them. I've been chatting with them since I have been home, and I'm really excited about this. So, in addition, I mean, we have fantastic help and supporters here, but onboarding even more, so you guys can check out what they have to offer. And then just this morning, I was talking to my good buddy John Matthews, who works at Battlefront, and I believe we're going to be able to feature a Battlefield in a Box design table. So, looking at maybe some of the new Badlands terrain. So. These are two things that I got working. There we go. War Scenery right there. Is that your
I was
Ahsoka
gonna
model?
say I
Oh
got
no, that's your
no,
Rebels,
no,
isn't it?
no. So I bought so much for more scenery.
Yeah, you
I
did. Yeah,
was
you did. Even so
I
much when I went on Sunday, they basically had nothing left. They were like
oh
literally
yeah,
sold out of everything.
they had I what I have in my hands is about half of the rebels that they had left when I showed up to their table,
Right.
because they have these really cool. Let me see how detailed I can get this. Probably not at all, but they have these really cool alt sculpt rebels that like
Yep.
half of the squad is like Twi'leks,
Hmm.
and they're in different poses, and they had these fleet troopers that were super cool. I would have bought like 2 or 3 squads of them if they had them, but they were sold out because they were so popular. And then they have these commandos. So we have like a Zabrak sniper, which I thought was really neat looking.
Hmm.
So I really
Hmm.
liked that. That made the whole sale for me, just that guy. But then there's like a Twi'lek that is wearing a hood, and you can see the detail of the Leku under the hood. It's like so cool. And then yeah, they had some exclusive commander models. Like they had a Darth Talon, and they had this season 7 Ahsoka that I absolutely needed because is awesome. So
Very cool. Yeah, and,
yeah,
and everyone. One thing I noticed about Adepticon versus Gen Con, and this is not a slight against either one or an endorsement for one over the other, but I was commenting that if I wanted to go speak and get to a booth at any point in Adepticon, I felt like it was very accessible. I could walk directly there. I could get and
yeah,
speak to the person that I wanted to. I didn't really have to kind of like go with the crowd and like find. I didn't have to like plot my course and like make base camp and make for boost 93 the next day like at Gen Con. Like Gen Con, it's strategic if you want to kind of move through expeditiously through the vendor area. But Adepticon was just accessible, and I really liked that slower pace. So and when I say slow pace, I don't mean that it's empty. I just mean that it just felt a little bit more intimate. I felt you could have conversations. The volume level was significantly lower, and yeah, all around, I just felt the experience was pretty awesome. So
In the
All right,
chat, he's in the chat
talking
as a
about the
question. Was
parka.
that because it was
Yeah.
no? Well, there's that. No, but you were speaking to the convention hall, and they said, is that because there's less a crowd or
Mm,
better organized?
I'd say probably just less of a crowd. I wouldn't say organization's anything different than most cons. You kind of got the rows and the
Yeah.
booths. But I just think that like I felt like at a Gen Con the space is very limited and your real
Oh
estate
yeah.
is small. And so, but I felt like at Adepticon, everyone kind of has like a booth, like kind of the what fronts to where you walk, but then the ability to kind of move in and look at what they have, so you can kind of step out of the traffic flow and then feel like you're just kind of shopping in a little area. And I think that has to do with the real estate, not necessarily. And I think it feels less crowded because you get to step out of that traffic flow. So
Yeah.
that was my experience there. So
When
okay,
people
just
said this is a much smaller Gen Con, it's exactly that. You know, the vendor hall size, I want to say, is like, I don't want to say like a tenth the size of the Gen Con vendor hall, but it is very much a significant like fraction of. So if you've been to Gen Con and you're comparing the two, it's day and night between like the sizes. You know, you could get through the whole vendor hall of Adepticon in a day if you wanted to, easily.
easy, easy.
And you could comfortably shop at each of those little stands too. You had comfortable place to stand. At Gen Con, you're not going to get through the whole vendor hall in your whole weekend, so you're just gonna have to give that up.
Agreed. Agreed. I just want to do a couple housekeeping on this, so people might be interested. If you were on the Patreon and you ordered tokens, they have already shipped. Like I said, they're just a small little company, so just the latest update today is they were in LA. They were in LA this afternoon, so making their way here. So
Living
once
it
I get
up.
them, they will be all sent out. So yeah, I played with them all weekend. Some people got to see them. They work good, and they looked awesome. So we'll have those out, and then we'll be moving on to the next thing. So I had an idea based on what I saw about some future perks here. Don't forget, we got FNF happening. That'll be happening 8:30 CST. We're on a little bit of a different time zone now here from some of the country. We didn't change, but I just adjusted it because we need to. 6:30 doesn't work for us, so we have to go. Well, 7:30 is our 6:30, but so we left it at 8:30 CST. So apologies to folks on the East Coast, but that is just how the time zones work. And then don't forget, we're always looking for help and support here in the studio. And remember, all those companies are helping us out to make our production better and more entertaining for you guys. And so we do love when you guys help us out as well, because it's a kind of that reciprocal relationship. A lot of them are interested in helping you guys out too with either sales, perks, and or giveaways. So we just try to build a little bit of a network, a community here of support. You guys are big helps with that. Um, if you're not on Patreon, or if you want to go check it out, I will be doing a little bit of a backlog on some of the stuff. So I built a display board, and because I was kind of in a blitz mode to get it done, you guys didn't get to see all the effects, but I am working on smaller pieces to show you this. If you got a chance to see the display board at Adepticon, well, let me know what you think. But this is just kind of a snapshot of it. It was fun to put together. It worked out really nice, and the droids ended up looking, I think, fairly good. Tabletop quality at best, but they looked all right and worked all right this weekend. So I want to just highlight that I'll be doing some of that on the Patreon as well. So yeah, that's that. And then let's get into the news, Ben, of which there is so much to cover. I did want to talk about, confirming Pally was there. So we did bring him in, and he was consumed to be, confirmed to be alive after consuming not one, but two spicy chicken sandwiches. So we're lucky that he's still with us. All right. Ben, this was not at Adepticon, but came shortly after, and it's on the Twitter feed today. So why don't you talk about this and just how people will possibly be able to get it? And I don't mean crawling over other people to get it, and hopefully not for a price point of $800.
So check this out right here. If you're not looking at your screen, you should be. This is the 2023 Star Wars Legion convention exclusive what about diorama? I guess I can call it.
It's
The
just epic, is what it is. Like this
yeah,
is.
the epic. It's a
I don't
display.
usually care about any of the special stuff, but I will be really, really sad if I can't get one of these. So AMG, if you're listening, we feel like we're giving this the best coverage possible. What would be even better is if we could just hold one right here and just be like,
Yeah,
this is what you can get. This is
and me
amazing.
too. No, I'm just kidding.
This is
I'll probably
amazing.
be able to get one because the this is the first time for Legion, not for AMG specifically, but this is the first time for Legion where a convention exclusive is going to be available at not one but two locations in two different continents. So all the
Awesome.
Europeans are going to be able to try and get it at its first announced location, which is going to be Star Wars Celebration, which is coming up very soon, and that's going to be able to be get. It's going to be there. I believe the price point on this is $80.
This is something like
I
80,
might be
82 or
wrong.
something like that. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But
Don't
yeah,
move that
so this
decimal
is
point, though. Don't move that decimal
yeah.
point. Just
No,
leave
no,
it
no, no, no.
at that price
Leave it.
point. Yes. Yep.
Uh, no, I think that's great. Outrider Dan again. Antarctica gets the shaft. Too bad. Yeah, I know. But yeah, so it's available in. It's going to be available at Celebration first. Good luck because the first Celebration exclusive I tried to get was Celebration Vader, and I have a horror story that's very bitter about that. But I'll say that was FFG. This is AMG. We'll see if it gets handled differently. So good luck. And the other location that it's going to be available at is my home convention of Gen Con, which is going to be in August, and I am super looking forward to being in the first couple people in line to get this. Maybe not me, but maybe my girlfriend. Okay. Oh, someone said they want to hear the horror story. All right, I'll keep it brief. I tried to get Celebration Vader so bad. It was my number one priority when I went to Celebrations. So I went in, I got in first day, and I drove up early, and I showed up in that line, and I'm in this big old huge line to get in the vendor hall. Vendor hall's getting there. That's my first priority, is getting in there, getting to FFG's booth and buying a Celebration Vader. And then the rest of my day, I had some other stuff planned that I was going to try and do, but that was like my number one priority. Doors open. I'm let in. I'm not like stupid far back in the line, and a lot of these people are going to go get exclusives from other booths and stuff. You know, they're not really like Legion isn't their number one priority. They've got all these busts and stuff. Like I saw there was an exclusive Darth Maul bust statue or something that tons of people were all over trying to get that. So I was like, where I'm at in the line versus like where this is at, plus how many they must have, I feel pretty confident that I'm gonna get one. And as I get there, I am like, I want to say 20 people back in line, and I'm like, I'm gonna get one. I'm like 20 people back. That's it. They definitely brought more than 20, I would presume. And as it turns out, before 3 people got through that line, they were going through the line telling people that they were all sold out of Celebration Vader. So literally, as soon as the public had access to the vendor hall, I was there. I was in line early enough, and they were gone. And only to find out the reason that they were gone was because they sold just about all of them to the like super premium VIP badge holders that are allowed in the vendor hall like an hour early. And they like completely sold almost all of their stock to those people. So by the time the rest of the public got into there, they were all gone. It was very sad. Yep, yeah, Dan's already calling it. He's like, Jedi Master badges got in early. Yep. That is exactly what happened, and they sold pretty much all of them to just those people. I think there was some left at the end of the weekend, but I was only there for the one day, so it was very sad.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine right there, Ben. Just right there. It's right there.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man. This will be my first convention exclusive right here because I'm
You
not
got it.
paying
You
$1
got
million
it.
for it, and
Yeah.
I'll be at Gen Con. So unless they sell them all to the Jedi Master badges that were at Celebration like 3 years ago now or 4 years ago. Oh God, it's probably longer. I don't want to think about that. Unless they sell them out to all those people, then I think I'm gonna be good. I think I'm gonna get one. So that's my goal.
I think you're gonna get one. I think you're gonna get one. I'm confident. So
God, I hope I
okay.
get it.
We better press. We will not be able to cover all the stuff, and we're not going to cover too much about any of the spoilers because we want to spend some time, and we're like 53 minutes in with 75 screens to go. But
That's true.
yeah,
Those
very,
models
very
come
good.
out of the base, by the way.
Yeah, I
The
know. I
Vader
saw
and the
that.
Luke come out,
Yep,
and they're
you can
playable. There's a little circle in there. You can see that they come out.
It is fantastic. It's gonna be good. That base is gonna need to deserve top priority on shelf space. If you didn't follow along with the Twitter, there was a live stream. I believe it was yesterday, maybe today. 3 hours ago. So I think that actually was today, where they were painting Ahsoka. So you guys can go check that out. It's on the Twitter. And then at Adepticon, so this obviously you can see that's from the March 26th a tweet here. At Adepticon, the reveal show happened, and
Oh boy, it was so
yeah,
good.
there was a lot of reveals, and so we're gonna cover off some of that. We're not gonna go in and deep dive on any of the cards. They're not super great quality images, not because they weren't on the screen, but they're shots of shots. But we will kind of highlight, and we're gonna get all this information to trickle out. So let's not overshare now. But let's definitely
Sure.
highlight this. I did want to also, just because I like to give credit where all the credit is due. So AMG was presenting this, and they did a great job doing that. But the Professional Casual Network was actually the ones that I was able to watch all the footage from. So the capture credit goes to them, and then obviously all the visual credit goes to AMG and Lucasfilm. But I wanted to acknowledge them. So check them out, the Professional Casual Network down there at the bottom. So Ahsoka came out, and initially I was just going to like basically use the screen grabs and the really low def photos of the cards. But luckily today, that all came out. So we'll actually get to that at the end. But they did open up with Ahsoka. Model looks very, very good. The paint on this one is exceptional. And you know what? I'm
Mm-hmm.
starting to let the pose grow on me a little bit. Although the pose in the box art is also cool. So would have been kind of cool. I'm not sure how they would have been able to do it, or if there was able to do any alt poses. But I'm sure we'll see some crafty folks out there maybe make some alt poses, and alt ways to alter this one. But I think
Like
we'll
war
be.
scenery.
Well, I mean, I don't mean other. Yes, there's those, but I just mean some
Oh, you
creative
mean
ways
taking
to
this
use.
one and
Yeah,
oh yeah. I mean
there's
that's what I
people.
did with Ahsoka. I might find
Yeah.
a way to do it with Ahsoka. I got to make her unique.
Yep, for sure, for sure. So hot takes already happening here with the Ahsoka. That'll be for the end of the show. We'll have the ability to chat about that. So then moving on, Ewoks came out. We knew Ewoks were coming out, but now what we have is
Hooray!
some cards, and I actually got to take some photos of the Ewoks in the cases. You guys have seen them, but I've only seen shots of those. But I was actually next to them. They're very small. It's going to be definitely great to get them on the table. But they are minute for sure. So we got some reveals here, and again, we're not going to get into all this. But if you have a look at the keywords associated with Wicket, and then look right at the top corner, and you can see that he can be taken with Rebels. All I'm just going to say is Scouting Party 2 in Rebels seems to be exceptional for a very cheap commander. And while he has low health and white dice, he's got some really cool features, including a surge to crit. So this little Wicket seems to pack a wicked punch. So when Sharpshooter 2, that seems pretty cool. And I don't know what the primitive keyword does, but you can see that down there at the bottom. So that wasn't the only Ewok that we got to see. But we also got to see a Logray here as well. We don't see the front of his card, but we do see that he has some suppressive attack, whether that's melee and or shooty attack. It is there. But yeah, very, very cool. I think there's going to be a lot of people interested in Ewoks. I heard a ton of people basically saying like, I'm all in on Ewoks. Ewoks are my thing. I'm hard shifting over. That remains to be seen. I'm not as excited about Ewoks. I'm excited for them in the game, but I'm not. For me, that's not something that I'm going to gravitate towards. When I say that, though, I will still purchase the max amount of Ewoks. That's just how it is as a completionist. But I am very, very excited and had very similar feelings about another reveal that's coming up. But Ben, do you have something to say about Ewoks?
Real quick. Well, no, I was gonna say in the chat, your round one, my round three, and narrative game opponent Francisco is in
Francisco.
the chat
Oh,
saying
hey, Francisco. Hey.
hey to Chile.
Oh, hey.
Hello,
Let's
Chile.
let's pop him up. First time. First time. There we go. So yeah, he was very interested in in the Friday night fights scene, and we said that we would definitely invite him to come on and have an interview with us sometime down the future. I should say we collectively made so many great contacts. I've been talking to the That's No Moon podcast and a whole host of folks. We're hoping to do some collabs with people. So if we met you and you were in the chat or in the chat in the future or watching this later on, make sure you connect with us. We're all about reciprocating that. So if we can help you out and you want to help us out in some way or just even connect, we're all about that. So yeah,
And if
let's
the
spread
Terrain
spread living
Studio
our.
turns you down and Friday Night Fights turns you down, Dice Time will take you because our standards are low, right? Is that what you said earlier?
I said that. I said that. I
Yeah,
thought
you're
I
like,
did.
oh, Ben's standards are so low.
Oh, I meant for friendship. I meant for qualification of friendship. Is
Well,
what
what is Dice
I meant.
Time but
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
friendship that we
yeah,
record?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Which we'll get into where exactly that originated. So, all right, let's move on here. They had some command cards, very difficult to read, but there is four of them there, and we'll get all back into all that stuff. We won't have time to deep dive, but if we have any slow weeks or AMG doesn't, present us with a nice spread of which they have been doing a lot lately, which is great. We'll go back and look at the low defs, but yeah, there's some stuff in here I'm quite interested in. So I love that impact for Pierce 1, 2 red, 3 black, 1 to 4. That seems
I knew the
good.
log trap was gonna be something like amazing, and yeah, my guess would have been to do it like a command card, so they could, so it could just be that big, huge like boom that happens on a turn, and they did exactly that.
Yeah. Justice asking me, don't tempt me on the thoughts of my Geonosians. You're gonna ruin my thunder here. So,
Uh oh. Uh
little
oh.
little goldenrod preview here as
Yeah.
another C3PO.
Return of the King.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if this is going to be a model or a sculpt that could come in the future, but it would be excellent if there
Oh, it's
is.
gotta be.
You would hope. You would hope.
I
You
would
would also
hope.
hope potentially that maybe will we see a new Chewbacca sculpt too that you can actually mount on the top of an ATST. That would be cool
I
too.
also
So
would hope.
yeah, 100%. I think there's
I'm kind of
opportunities
holding
abound
out.
here.
I'm kind of holding out making my ATST specifically just to see if they release a specific one for Chewbacca.
Right.
Otherwise, I have an ATST and I will build it. If they don't make one for if they don't make one for Chewbacca specifically, then I will build the one that I have and I will build it with Chewbacca in it because yeah, this is too great to pass up on the opportunity.
Very, very good. Hey, if I can just plead to the chat here. I noticed that we have 2 thumbs down, likely 1 due to Bernard, but we only have 8 thumbs up. So if you guys like what we're doing and our little share outs and spreads we put together, those thumbs ups are free, and we like those, and we definitely want to have get rid of those 2 thumbs down. Bernard speaking directly to you. So there we go. Thank you. Appreciate that, guys. So here we go. When I saw this and watching the stream, I really loved when I watched the whole coverage that they had for all the games, Shatterpoint, for MCP, for X-Wing, for Armada. It just seemed like the Legion crowd got a little more excited for almost every single reveal, which was awesome. So
Yeah.
thank you. One of those thumbs down disappears. Nice. So
Oh,
when I
nice.
saw
Thanks,
Geonosians
Bernard.
come out, I was super, super excited. And so I started speculating already, and I was like, oh, what would cool, oh, awesome flight troopers, just like all the time they can fly. And then somebody was like, well, how do they have what kind of mechanic? I was like, when they get suppressed, they become ground troopers and they're no longer able to use their jump or fly. They're like grounded. I was like, there's all kinds of cool mechanics we can do for this. Now, this is just one reveal in this faction. I'm not sure if they said specifically, I can't recall, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be a battle force. But hopefully they can be merked into other units, and check out those models right there. I
Yeah.
money. I really, really like how these came out. I love the idea, the concept that not everything's on a flight stand. In fact, it looks like they're just basically lifting off. That's the preferred way for me for models that are in flight. And they look super sharp. I know they had 2 named characters for sure, but I'm talking about all the other avenues that they can go. And let's hope that we can get some beasts, because if you can't have Geonosian handlers for beasts, like that to me goes back to like early Warhammer days when I played Lizardman and they had the salamander and the handlers. And like the salamander could like, do funny things and like kill your own handlers. And I think that would be amazing for the game. So I know people are freaking out about Ewoks. My freak out is happening for the Geonosians, and I
For
will be
Geonosians,
hard
yep.
in on the Geonosians. Whether they're good or not, I can't speculate. It doesn't really matter because they're cool, and I like them, and I think they are something that I've been waiting for a while. So really hoping for that. So Geonosians could have creature troopers and emplacement troopers. Sounds like they're gone the old Battlefront. Yeah, fair enough. It lives rent free in his head. So my excitement lands here. Loving this. I heard a big cheer for these individuals as well.
Oh yeah.
And very interesting in terms of how they potentially could function. So sounds to me like they're going to be like a duo operative unit, and that
Hang on,
could be
see if I
interesting.
can recreate this here.
Right. I'm not sure if Ben is having flashbacks of spicy chicken sandwich
No, I'm
you were
doing
you were
the
in,
I'm
gotcha.
doing I'm doing the where is it? Here it is. I'm mimicking the pose here that she's got going on.
Oh, okay. Anthony coming in
It's
here and they
intentional,
will
I
break the
promise.
game empire again. I mean, they're gonna be good, no question about it. I mean, I think they should be. Poses are really cool. I like the sort of like the action captured in the rotating lightsaber. Somebody's just
Yeah.
going to like motorize one of these. Like they're gonna spend hours and hours and hours to have a rotating lightsaber. I applaud you, individual, yet to be named in the future.
I don't know
But
about motor, but I can do. I'm probably
No,
gonna
no,
try and
motor.
do what I did with.
Fidget
Okay,
spinner.
fine, motor. But no, what I did. I did on IG-11. I specifically like didn't leave him glued, and I
Right.
might have to do a magnet or something on this one. But so I left his torso unglued, so you can just spin his torso around.
Gotcha.
So he can do his big shoot everything at range 2 move, and I can just spin the model around.
I feel like
I'll
somebody's
probably see if I could do something like that with this one, and see if I could like magnetize the wrist or something, maybe, so I could just have it spin.
no.
We'll see.
And sorry, just picking up Chris Zenga. No. I don't think you're in the minority picking up on the fact that the spin effect is cool.
Uh-uh.
I could see somebody doing like some sort of bearing and a magnet in the base where you just like have the rotational spin based on magnetic force. Somebody will do
Yeah.
something
God, it'd be
insane with this
crazy.
model for sure. For sure.
I think you're right. I think
And
you're right.
like I said, I applaud you, future individual yet to be named. So lots of interest there, and then perhaps one of the loudest cheers was for this individual Clone Force 99 and Bad Batch. Um, I am very interested in how the mechanics are going to roll out for this. I hope that it's some sort of special forces that has like a base minimum of, let's say, Hunter plus maybe Omega, and then it's add. So you can kind of have that feeling of like the Bad Batch sort of force, and they're not always together, and they kind of have they go off on their little missions, but you can add, and I mean. Maybe it's a special forces that's 400 points when it's all said and done. I don't know, and I actually don't really care. I think that the more individualization that they can do with this unit, the more happy people will be. So, the only thing on here, and I think maybe I might be losing a little bit something in the optics, is I wanted Wrecker to be like Space Marine size.
Yeah.
Like I just want him
Well,
to be
in
the
this photo, you can tell from the base size that he is pushed back a little bit. He's
yeah
not at the same. So he
exactly.
looks smaller in this, but he's definitely. I know he's gonna be a big chonky head and shoulders above everybody else for sure.
Agreed, and I'm that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that it's the illusion of the photo that makes him look
It
smaller.
is. I can tell from the bases. Yeah.
And I'm really just hoping he like you said, he's just the biggest chonkiest guy there. So very very excited for this.
I'm hoping the way you were talking about, like you're hoping how they kind of are structured. I'm hoping there's just a ton of ways, because we've been shown a ton of different ways to include specific characters into lists. Something like, kind of like how they did with ISF and the ARC troopers, where they made named characters that could get tagged onto squads. I'm hoping to see like a small deck of cards basically over here. I want to see the special forces version. I want to see the individual versions that could go on other squads and go with other people and like the other units. So you could break them up. You could have them all on the field, but you could break them up between other units. You could run them all together. And honestly, and this could just be the theme man in me. I want to see a version, or I want to see a list that you can rent, like a 500 point list that's just this squad. Like I don't know how it works. Maybe they're all like, maybe you play it like the narrative thing that they were beta testing. What was that? Y'all know what I'm talking about. The thing that they announced basically the day after Shatterpoint pre-orders went up.
Right.
That Legion mode. I can't think of it right now, but yeah, that maybe something like that. Yeah, Spec Ops. Thanks, Dan. I want to see something like Spec Ops where you could run these 6 as like a 500 point list against your opponent. I think that would be phenomenal. That would be so much fun and feel like the show.
Yeah, it could definitely feel like the show. I think it's. I mean, we haven't seen a unit like this. We've seen add-on characters. We have that are one-offs. There was mention here, I think, by Dan, putting Crosshair, an Imperial Crosshair to be added to Imperials.
Oh yeah.
I mean, why not? But I think this may just be the gateway into where people are talking about generic Jedi, but not generic, like maybe a few lesser named Jedi, etc. Some other characters, maybe potentially we see the Ghost Crew. Maybe they come out as a little bit of a unit. No spoilers.
That's what I'm. Oh, that's my dream. As soon as that drops, I'm done. Like, forget the other factions. That's me for the rest of the game.
Okay, like you heard it here first. Ghost Crew replacing Ladies Night.
Ghost Crew
okay,
will replace
gotcha.
everything.
I gotcha. But this is exciting. I think that this sort of platform and the willingness to put them all in a squad is pretty cool. And maybe they have the ability that these guys can be taken in other squads as well. Who knows like how that will all work? Maybe some of them can be, maybe there's spec ops, the keyword in here, but maybe one can act as a commander, etc. Maybe there's dual cards you can play, hunter as operative or hunter as leader of special forces. I don't know how any of this is going to work. I think there's a lot of ways that this can go. All speculative at this point. We know they're coming, and how they get rolled out remains to be seen. But if you didn't sort of capture from the last bunch here, with Ahsoka, Ewok, C-3PO, Battle Forces, Geonosians, Inquisitors, and Bad Batch, there's a lot on the horizon. So I think folks who were concerned that the game wouldn't be supported, and maybe there was going to be a hard shift into just Shatterpoint or just MCP. I think they put that to rest as well. And like I said, when I said AMG showed up, they did. They showed up both in person and then showed up with the release schedules. So they're not great. They're not sharing dates, and I think that mostly is because there's so many fluctuating points to that and nailing that down specifically. But we know things are starting to roll out. We know things are getting on pre-release. So when they become pre-release, I think that kind of sets the timeline in motion that they're pretty close. So let's just hope the Geonosians are not too far down the track, because I want to capitalize on that excitement. And maybe
2026.
2026, is that what it says?
Yep.
Or he's making this up.
No, it's confirmed.
Okay.
I just asked.
Okay, 2026. Got it. Okay, fair enough. Okay, let's hope before that.
Oh, it's 2027 now. Sorry.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I just changed it.
Trust nothing that Dice Time says. All right, moving along. Just a few other things, because I want to leave lots of time for people to call and interact tonight. But here's some of the swag we were talking about. Full shameless plug. Some swag I was very interested in, other swag less interested in, but I actually put some swag on eBay right away because I know people are. But here is what we received. Shout outs to LJ. He lent me a dice bag a token bag on day one. So I represented Team Relentless on day one. It matched the Friday Night Fight colors, so it worked perfectly. On day two, I received my Grievous token bag, of which I used for the balance of the weekend. The Battle Force cards were great. I'm super happy that I got those because I did not have those, and I don't really like print and play. I invest way too much money into this game for me to want to go print off any components. I just want the tangible, hard, well designed and created cards with the art in the same quality that I have everything else, and so I got
Mm-hmm.
those, which is fantastic. And I also received two of those Boba Fett boxes, and I had not seen them before. I know I think were out before, but the quality is great, and they have two layers of foam in
No,
those.
these were new to this.
Well, somebody had said that they were out before, and I said I hadn't seen them before, so I didn't know when they came out. So,
Someone will have to correct me. I was talking to you, and I said that they did a Vader box that was
oh,
just like this.
maybe that was the
Yeah,
conversation.
and
But
they did that at a. Oh, they said never mind. Someone said they were at ADEPTICON last year. Well, never mind then. This is
I
the first
did
time I saw the Boba Fett box too.
fair, regardless of when they came out. They're awesome. I got two. I love
Yeah,
it, and they will definitely be remaining in my collection. The only thing that I got that I wasn't, and I wouldn't say that I'm not interested in, was the tarot cards, and only because for me, they don't fit the size of anything else that I had. So my tarot cards are up for the consumption of the world, but
separate me from Sean. I thought
yeah,
they were awesome.
fair. The correction.
I'm not
Don't
with
don't
I'm not with
don't
him.
misquote. Don't misquote. They are awesome. They just don't fit my collection, and because I don't really like one-offs of most things, that they're just not my style. The art is cool. The concept's really cool. But for me, they weren't my thing. And to each his own on all of these things. But I had a choice, and I went up, and I didn't take the alt arts, and I didn't take the dice. I took the Boba Fett box. That appeals to me. Ben's got a Boba Fett box right there.
I told
Mine are
Sean
right,
all
mine are
my
right over
all
there.
my stuff from Adepticon is still spread out on this bed because I'm terrible at organizing, and this is our guest room, so I
Well,
can just leave all this crap in here. But
yeah, mine's
anything that
sitting
we
right
need to
there.
reference through the weekend, I have it all. So I
Okay,
have it all in front of me. So we got the dice bag here, the Grievous dice bag.
nice little show and tell here.
Exactly. You can keep talking. I'm just gonna
Well,
show
we're
off
actually
some.
going to move
Wait, there
right
were
into
tons
the.
of tarot cards. Oh well, then I'll just shut up and move along. Go ahead.
I was going to move right into the literal show and tell. So why don't you show some of the tarot cards just so people can
We got.
to check them
So
out?
they showed off a couple of
I think
these.
there's
I'm gonna try
17.
and
I
get.
think 17 total. Is that right?
Yeah, there's way more than they showed in like that initial article.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Francisco says I have to show the Chile bag that he gave me, and I definitely have to do that. So there was, we got an airspeeder in there. There was
Oh,
whatever
big
this
screen,
is. I
hard to
can't
see.
tell.
Hold on, hold
Oh,
on
that's
here.
Aiden. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let me
Here we
let me
go.
just
Oh,
let me
oh,
just move Ben in front of everything here. We'll show off Ben. Let's give
there
him
we go.
more dice time, airtime.
More dice time. So we got an airspeeder. There was Aiden. We got the AAT. There you go, Sean. That's your favorite.
It is definitely, that's a cool card.
We got Cassian in here. We got the TX Saber, the ATST,
This
the
card,
AA5.
yeah. Can you? I think it's on the back side. Can you flip the no, the
Oh,
AA5? Can you flip it to the other side of the card? I think, is that the, yeah, that's where it shows the lat like chasing it down. That's really
yeah,
cool. I
chasing
really
it
do.
down. I
Yeah,
love this picture.
that's very very cool.
And then they had one of each of the basic core of the main four factions. So, and yes, it is a really weird card size, but like, it's just some weird novelty thing that I just like them.
Yeah, and
The,
like I
the
said,
the Marge quote. I just think they're neat.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
So yeah, very cool.
All right,
And
well let's.
yeah, go ahead. I gotta get this Chile bag real quick.
I'm gonna throw Ben back in the corner. Back in the
Represent.
corner here.
Here
All
we
right,
go.
what do you got? What do
right
you got?
here
All right,
from
that's
Francisco.
Fair enough.
Boba Fett
Francisco,
bag.
Francisco, I feel like we had a connect, and I did not receive a Chilean token bag, so we're still cool.
You're just not.
definitely my
You just
favorite.
weren't as cool, Sean.
I mean, we did both get golden tickets in our game, Francisco and I.
Oh,
So
there you go.
For perhaps that was even a step up from that. I don't know. I don't know where the
Very
Chilean
nice. Very nice.
activation bag lies in the spectrum of cool things, but you got one, so it's really really nice. So
I did get that bag, and it was a lot cooler than some of the other stuff I had earned throughout the whole weekend. I was like, this bag. I got lots of compliments on just that bag. I played Francisco again on a narrative event on Saturday, and I specifically used that bag because I was just like, well, I mean, I have this bag for my order tokens. Why not use it?
Well, Francisco has just declared in chat that he's gonna attempt to send me a different bag, and
Oh, there
I'm
you
gonna
go.
speak for him. I think it's twice as good as the one you got. Just
Oh,
speculating,
please.
speculating.
Please.
All right,
We'll get that fact checked.
Let's this is the internet. There's no need to fact check anything. Let's jump over. Ben and I will give our voices a brief rest here. We're gonna just show you some sights from the weekend, just a few of the few of the photos that I took. We'll have many more. So my photos were fairly limited because I could take them on the days I wasn't playing, but just walking around taking a few snaps. We'll have some more to share. We'll probably be talking about Adepticon for a while to come in future episodes. Not so much longer tonight because we want to get in and get you guys a chance to chat. We also want to talk about Exoka before we slide over into that. So stay tuned. It's about 2 minutes long. You guys will enjoy this. If you guys didn't catch that last photo or recognize that individual because you might have been newer to Legion, that was Legion creator Alex Davey, who I happened to catch. Well, I was looking for a demo game on for Onslaught, and I wasn't able to. I was waitlisted on all the signups, and so I met up with John Schaefer, who is formerly of FFG. Also working for WizKids now. And he said, "Hey, come down on Sunday and see me, and I'll run you through a demo." So I went through on Sunday. I didn't see John, and so I started working my way back through the vendor area, and I saw Alex coming, and I just stopped and had a chat with Alex, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" We just caught up, kind of thing. And then I have spoken to Alex several times before, and we Facebook message often, and I said I was trying to get a demo with John. I didn't see him. He's like, "Oh, well, come with me. I'll run you through a demo." He's like, "I got to go to a meeting in a little bit, but I'll sit down with you." And the meeting never happened because Alex and I played Onslaught for about like well over an hour. Caught up on all things. Got run through the entire game, which was super fun, by the way. And so if you haven't checked that out, go do that. And I think Anthony said he has the game, so we might actually try to do some gaming here on stream and kind of walk through that. So I enjoyed that. It was great. Alex and I just this week actually, he was working. I said, "Hey, I'm playing droids, and here's my ice piece." He's like, "Oh, how'd you do that ice?" And I just told him, he's like, I'm actually building some bases right now, and I was looking for a cool way to do some ice effect. And so I was like, well, here's how you do it. And then he just like literally sent me a message a day or two ago, and he was like, this is how it came out, and then showed me the picture of his ice bases. So I was like, oh, cool. Well, there you go, teaching a master something. So an amateur teaching a master, which was super fun. So the ability to connect with these folks is go ahead.
I was gonna speak to. There were some questions about the pictures and stuff we had in the
Oh,
tables, but
sure.
you go on, continue your thought, and then we'll
Yeah.
move on.
I was just saying that the ability, one of the things, if you haven't been to these cons, is like walking up and like chatting to people. The people that are often in the booth, like I will say specifically, like
Yeah,
at the GGS games booth, Freeblades, John Cleves, who owns the company or one of the owners of the company, he writes and designs for the game. He's there. He's a tangible person. You can go meet him. J Rod and I played Blood and Plunder, which is a hilarious story, and I hope that he comes in at Roundtable because it set the tone for the entire weekend. But
if
we
not, we're definitely covering it in Dice Time for sure. In the Dice Time Adepticon episode, it will get a whole block, I'm sure.
for sure. But we played the game with the designer of that as well. Here I am playing, sitting down with Alex and talking Onslaught, and AMG was there. Like all the tangible people that you want to be interacting with. That is a huge perk of the con. I got to speak to Simone, who's a very pleasant individual, and nothing to suggest otherwise. But just sitting down and chatting with her and seeing the excitement. She's crazy about Ewoks, by the way. Crazy in a good way. She just really has a lot of interest and passion for them. So just kind of hearing and seeing and interacting with them is really kind of cool. So that was again an added perk, and playing with Alex was great. Not only catching up with him, but just kind of getting walked through that game and then walked over. So because what happened in our game, and I'll just briefly mention, is I started to do some things and I like started to make some good rolls. I was like, oh, this game's easy, just roll 20s. And he's like, well, you are rolling a lot of crits, sir. And so what he said, he's like, well, that's it, I'm done taking it easy on you. And then we proceeded to play out the game. And Evan Bolris came over and he was saying, oh, how the game's going. Alex is like, well, I did not take it easy on him and did XYZ, and it was super fun. So yeah, I was rolling too many crits for Alex liking, and he decided to he proceeded to smack me down as a result of that. So, but he was super cool. He was walking me through the combos, and we ended up having a pretty close game. I wasn't really paying too much attention to the score, just trying to kill people. I was going full aggro, but it was
I was
super
too busy
fun.
critting.
Exactly. So that was fun, and I don't typically go to conventions to do much more than the thing that I'm there to do, whether previously X-Wing or Flames of War, or late in the last few years, all Legion all the time. But this was a chance for me, having a few down days where I was able to play a few other games. Blood and Plunder was a fun one, and then we what is it? Zinvader? Zinvaded. Yeah, which we also played in the hotel room. Of which, again, I'm also basically, I think, a two-time world champion at this point, which is, I mean, at least in comparison to J-Rod, that was also a super fun. So,
Oof.
yeah, it was just a great weekend all around. I had a lot of great things to say. So, Ben, you want to address those questions that you said you saw in
Yeah,
chat?
so I saw something in there talking about the tables. Everybody said it was really good diversity of the tables, of like what the settings and everything you saw. I think I can safely say this is probably, and it should be, the best event as far as ones that I have gone, as far as table diversity and beautiful looking
Great.
tables.
Yep.
I think that was probably the best event I've been to. Now, albeit I haven't been to that many like major events and all that. I've been to enough that I got a ticket, I guess. But Worlds was like the culmination of like the best tables I had seen and the most diversity and really awesome looking stuff that I was excited. I would have been excited to play on any one of these tables.
Yeah.
There was a question as to saying how were the tables terrain in regards to the new cover rules. So, and Sean, you can weigh in on this as well because you were actually playing Legion, and I was just pretending.
I just had blast with everything. So
Well,
yeah, no, they.
as far as stuff went, I thought everything looked pretty good.
Yep.
Most everything had cover most all the time because they were set up in such a way where you were pretty well able to get into cover
Mhm.
and get into those positions. These people are competitive players. They're gonna play based on their cover. They know where their cover is. They know how to get the best cover. So everyone's always usually going to have full, if not a good amount of cover. Now, there were games where we decided, oh, this seems light, this is maybe light. There wasn't any of those like sheets that denoted this has to be this cover or this is suggested this cover. So we just kind of tossed it around each game, and we had a good mix of heavy and light, I think, on all my boards that we played with. There was a good amount of elevation as well. I see someone, Caleb asked about climbing. There was a good amount of climbing elevation and stuff in there. There was lots to climb on, lots of, there was the whole table. And I say table, I don't mean a Legion table. I mean like 4 or 5 Legion maps, that kind of table
Hmm.
of Ewok terrain, of like Ewok villages of Endor, where they had, the upper balconies and stuff. And those tables don't typically get to go to like big events and stuff, because that kind of terrain is very used to be very tilted toward lists that had jump, or lists that had the ability to get up and
Scale.
down
Yep.
elevation, scale, right? And they tilted too much towards those things. Whereas now with the new climbing rules, I think we're going to see a lot more elevation. We're going to see a lot more of those kinds of tables, because anybody can just hop up on those platforms now. They use their little grappling hook or whatever, and they just latch onto the side of that bridge, and then whoop, they're up. So yeah, there was a lot of stuff that highlighted the new rules, and I think they did an amazing job.
Yep. I will tell you right now, with the release of the Geonosians, and I've talked about this concept before. One of the concepts that I have had is to do a table that's actually like plays at 3 levels. Because what I want to do is
Yeah,
I want to have some catacombs. I want to have some tables where you can access some subterranean portions or caverns, as well as your base level, as well as your height. So
that's
I'm not going
cool.
to be afraid to go ahead and build something like that now, because there's going to be playability, and there will be playability for all factions. So you won't have to like rely on like, well, they're great because they can fly or jump, etc. With
Right.
the new rules, the ability to do that. So look for that. If I'm going to do a Geonosian army, I'm going to have a Geonosian themed table here in the studio, for sure. And I did one before. It's just owned by somebody else at this point. So we need to have one that can
Shame.
stay in studio. So no, I was happy to do that. So
Well, yeah, of
um,
course. I just mean shame, because it's maybe my favorite table that I've ever seen you make. Like, I'm so envious of the owner of that table,
yeah, yeah.
because I love that one.
I
It's
think
so
I think
good
I
for
think
so
it's
good
one
for
AMG
demos and stuff
actually. I
like
think
that.
I think one
Yeah,
AMG owns that table. So yeah,
yeah, that's right.
yeah, that's where it's at. But no, but Ben is correct. There was no table that was basically nigh unplayable, because of
Nope.
terrain concern, which was great. And I think that the new rules have allowed us to translate into to making more interesting and more interactive tables. And I
Agreed.
think they're more balanced, where you don't have to rely on keywords and or faction, identity to be tailored towards one particular style or build, I guess, if I were. So yeah, no longer is there going to be like, yep, that's unplayable because my army can't get over it. It's like, well, I can get over it. It might be slower. Maybe it doesn't go over as fast, but it can still get there. So
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, let's slide over. We're hour 30 in, so that'll leave us enough time. Let's spend 10 minutes or so getting into this amazing Ahsoka reveal today, and then we'll
Let's
be
go.
yeah, following the terrain build and painting frenzy by Adepticon was insane. Yeah, and I was actually
Yeah.
talking to one of my buddies again in the industry. Used to work for War Games Illustrated, doing some stuff. Now is into actually creating his own books. His own author, and he's put out a series of books. But Dave Taylor is his name, by the way. And he was actually part of that painting squad, that Adepticon squad that was getting things ready. And he was talking about. Was showing me the pictures, the kind of behind the scenes photos of getting ready, and the painting army that they had, and he was working on Legion Train, as luck would have it. So I got to see some of those photos when I was there and catching up with him. So speaking of catching up, let's catch up with the drops today for AMG, and what we've seen here. So we have the Vader facing off against Ahsoka. Excellent work, by the way, on the lightsabers in Ahsoka's case here. So that glow
Yeah.
effect is happening. So Ahsoka Tano coming out. We know it. There's the box, so that puts it even closer to reality. And
Yay.
Ben, I'm gonna let you kind of talk a little bit about the unit and then the cards, because you've already started the theory craft. If Ben wasn't ready to give up Ladies' Night, he's closer to it. He's just replacing one of his ladies, perhaps, or adding another
You
one to the mix.
feasibly either. I haven't decided yet,
Yeah.
but There does exist a version of Ladies Night that does fit all four of them. So
Dan, fully transparent. I just said great work on the lightsaber. I wasn't suggesting how that was achieved. Just great work on it.
amazing only painted effect, man.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The looks are half the battle. So all right, so go ahead, Ben. Take us away. What is awesome about Ahsoka?
What isn't awesome about Ahsoka? First off, let's just say first off, the number one thing that we have to recognize in this is finally the second lightsaber user in the Rebellion who's not Luke, like the only other lightsaber user in the Rebellion who's not Luke Skywalker. So we finally have another Jedi who we can team up with Luke if you wanted to run something crazy like that. She's got everything that you could want. First off, she's got jump 2. Let's look at this first. She's jump 2, where most Force users are jump 1, so she got hops.
Yep.
She got the charge, which is what you want on your Force user as well. Okay, pointed out in chat, she does not have mastery of the Force. Understandable.
Yep,
but
it's coming.
She's got the defend, so she get the order, she gets the dodge token. She's got the deflect, like all lightsaber users have. She's got the immune pierce, and then she's got, like Asajj Ventress, she's got that Jar-Kai mastery. So, yes. For those of you who have not played her yet, while performing a melee attack, you can spend any number of dodge tokens. For each dodge token you spend, you may improve one attack die result. So it's like not lethal. What's the marksman but for lightsabers, and you use dodges instead of aims. So, and then she's got that sweet double rainbow that some of our favorite attacks in the game throw, with that sweet impact 2, pierce 2. Surging to crit, got those red defense dice, 6 health, 3 courage. What's there not to love except for no mastery of the Force? But that's fine, we don't need her to cost like 200, okay? She's 165. I think that's a nice, solid, good, nice place to put someone who's going to be hitting the competitive scene pretty soon. And then we got 2 Force slots, 2 training slots. That means lots of fun, lots of options for you to play around with, to throw different. I've already seen so many discussions of like what upgrades to throw into what. It's already going to be a debate to figure out what's going to be the best build on Ahsoka, because I've already heard people being like, I'm not taking anything that you just said. I'm taking all of this instead. And I'm like, all right, cool. I cannot wait to see it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how she shakes out into the table and how she shakes out into the scene.
Ahsoka, for me, like a few other characters, Maul comes to mind. Even Luke in some respects. We got options with Luke, but the players who want to play Ahsoka aren't going to really care about the points. That point is irrelevant. They saw name, and this is their character. Ahsoka's in their list, and they will build around that. I've already saw that in some of ours. Like the points are irrelevant. I'm a Maul player. Maul goes in. I add X to Maul. Whatever's left is what I take in an army. I add Ahsoka. I'm taking X on Ahsoka. Whatever's left is my army. And I think Ahsoka is one of those characters that if you want to play her and you want her to be in your list, you will have her in regardless. You won't really subscribe to what is optimal, what other people are doing. It's going to be your character. I think there's going to be a few other characters will come out in this game still to come. I feel like a Mace Windu might fall into that category too. Mace might be expensive. I'm Mace. I like Mace. I want a purple lightsaber. He's in my list. Build around. Pally is like that with Rex. For lack of a better analogy, right now, he's like, I'll take Rex and Rex whatever, and I don't care what people say about Rex. I love that about this game, and I do too. That's the folks that like subscribe. Me, I'm on the other end. I'm like generic, as many of them as I can. Redundancy. But I get it. I get where people really gravitate towards these characters, and I feel like Bad Batch will be another one of those. And maybe that's the kind of the direction we're going to go with all these. Mando is. I haven't seen a lot of Mando, and I don't know if that's if people are really gravitating towards him too much, but. But yeah, I mean, and there will always be players. You can find I've seen Pelps, I've seen Krennics, I've seen the Krennics and the Veers. I say Veers might be one of those guys too. There is some folks that are like, I like Veers and he's in all my lists because he's generic and vanilla, and I like him because he does these things. But I think Ahsoka, it doesn't matter. Who cares if she doesn't have Master of the Force? Who cares, that she's 165? Who cares that you want to kit her out and she's super expensive, and that's an expensive operative for potentially whatever value is you assign to her, but
It's
she's going to be
Ahsoka,
popular.
and let's send it. That's
Yep.
exactly, who cares about all this other stuff? Let's have some fun.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring too much fun into this. I understand that the narrative and the dice time and the fun are all for a different podcast, but whatever we do here, we do generic, we do vanilla, we do gray. I'm
I
sorry,
mean,
so sorry if I overstepped my boundary there.
you're speaking my language, so
Right, I know.
for
So sorry.
yeah. Yeah. Amazing. I want to remind me to point something out. I want to finish the Ahsoka thoughts, but something just came through on my phone. So remind me to point something out after the Ahsoka conversation here, though, which I
Got it.
don't want to miss. So let's
I will
slide
point.
over because
Everybody
it's
points in the chat.
remind me if I forget to say something that I remembered because I forgot it. You'll remind me.
Got
There we
it.
go. I got that. All right. This is cool. Nice little spread here. Art is exceptional. I want to really point my fingers at both the 1 pip and the second 2 pip. For art that I think is awesome. So Inquisitors confirmed. Just pointing that out. Hot take. In the art of the Swift Protector. Vader confirmed in the first one, and Sabine
Yep.
team up
Vader confirmed for sure.
happening here, confirmed in number 2. Their family reunion, by the way, Ben, of which I'm
Yep.
sure Ben has probably already got a full art planned up for this. Probably printing this off in poster form. But Ben, take us away through these. Let's deep dive into them in the sense of the text, and then we'll speculate
Yeah.
on how good they're going to be after that.
So let's go. We'll just go order left to right because
Yeah.
that's the way that
Do you,
Americans read.
Yeah, do you want me to read as a text? Are you able to see that easily, or do you
Yeah,
want me
yeah.
to
No,
go?
I can see. I
Okay,
I have
perfect.
sunglasses, Sean. I can see everything.
That's
Trust me.
fair. And I'm wearing my
So,
glasses so that your glasses don't reflect and burn my eyes out. So go ahead.
yep, correct. So we have the 1 pip. I am no Jedi. On this card art, we have Ahsoka doing that sweet fight with Vader, and Vader
Mm.
confirmed for Legion.
Yeah.
1 order to Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka Tano gains Agile 1, nice, while attacking during the form attack pool step. Ahsoka Tano adds 1 white attack die to her attack pool for each dodge token that she has to a maximum of 3. If you're playing her with, now you're gonna have Agile, you're gonna have Defend, you're gonna have all the whatever upgrades you take with her. She's definitely going to be a dodge token battery. So you're going to have you're going to be I see a lot of people that are going to be hitting that maximum 3 when they jump into that attack. So it's white dice obviously, but that's still more the
with
potential
Chikai
ceiling.
though, right? Let's not
Yeah,
forget
and then with Jarkai, you can just
that.
spend those dodge tokens and just there's a hit,
Yep.
boom. You
Yep.
can just spend the 3 dodge tokens that gets you the 3 dice and turn that into 3 free hits.
Yep.
Which is going to be huge in a saber fight or whatever you're doing that.
Yep.
Caleb says my B1s dislike her already. Yeah, that's fair.
It's accurate.
More, yeah. I mean, well, hang on. So with Ahsoka's two red, 2 black, 2 white, plus 3 extra white, if she hit on everything, she could wipe a full B1 squad in 1 hit. Let's go.
No, can't happen because you know what B1s are rolling that many blocks, that many white dice.
Oh, true. True. I only pierced 2 of them. My bad.
Yeah, yeah, we're fine. We're fine. We have a unit leader left. We're good.
We're fine. Yeah, we're fine here. How are you?
Yep. Yeah.
So we'll move on to 2 pip family reunion. This is the highly anticipated and very much discussed and debated teamwork card. Got that sweet card art of Ahsoka and Sabine teaming up. Sabine also confirmed for Legion. Ahsoka and Sabine are the 2 orders. Ahsoka Tano gains teamwork Sabine Wren. Oh, that made my whole day right there. Just want you to know this card and that sentence alone. Whew, everything was made for me with just that one. I'm 110% ready to field these 2 on the table now. I'll try to keep it to myself. Sorry. At the start of Ahsoka Tano's activation, Sabine Wren may perform a free Speed 2 move. Well, I didn't say free, but it means free. At the start of Sabine Wren's activation, Ahsoka Tano may perform a Speed 2 move. So this is definitely a sweet move that you could do in order to throw the I'm gonna start here, but when I start, she goes over here, and then she does this turn, and then that order's done, and then we'll go over here when they start. Oh, now I'm moving over here. So there's definitely going to be a lot of tricky play that you're going to have to get timing wise down to really. You're going to be able to do a really big splash with that turn if you do that right, especially because you can get them. You could use that to get them in melee, or maybe to get them safe touching something while the other person's going. So like Sabine, I'm gonna use this turn. Ahsoka's going to go right now. Sabine's going to do a free speed 2 into like a box or into an objective where she's going to do it. Say it's a box that she wasn't able to touch turn 1. Then Ahsoka goes and does her turn. Maybe she's left out. Maybe she kills whoever she got in melee with, so now she's out in the open. Now we go to Sabine's turn. She's going to start her turn. Ahsoka can go crash into another unit, at least wrap one up in melee, and then Sabine can spend her turn, claim the box that she's now touching, and run. I mean, there's going to be situations like that. I'm not saying how many times is that going to happen to you, but there's going to be a lot of situations like that, I think, where you're going to be able to set the timing up to where two crazy things are going to be happening during two different activations, and it's going to be nuts. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really cool.
I think you can set up this is a nice precursor to
Yeah.
an explosions play for sure. This just became
I
an
think so too.
extension of
I thought about that
explosions
too.
for sure. Yeah, this doesn't seem great. And then it's like, okay, you could play that, or you could play something entirely different, right? It's not going to telegraph necessarily an explosions play because you already have two threats coming at you, and if you over commit to one or play around one, they could easily play a card the next round. But yeah, that's free speeds, free moves in this game are crazy. Free speed 2 of 2 characters that will not give you a nice time. If they
Not a
reach
dice
you.
time.
Yeah, not a dice time. Not a dice time. I like
I
this
will.
card. It's
Yeah.
tricky.
I will say, and I haven't been doing it because with Sabine, I've been running on her training slot. I've been doing situational awareness, and I know that that's a highly debated slot amongst Sabine players. But I've just been using it because in my current list, I'm able to give her a dodge, and I have the vigilance. I'm usually able to keep her where she can just keep recycling that nimble dodge and just using it for like the one crit that somebody's getting on me or something like that. However, this card right here is making me reconsider and start thinking about going to do up close and personal, which is the other card that people will typically put on Sabine because it gets her those dodge tokens when she's gunslinger, and gunslingers love up close and personal. It gets them 2 dodges. This card right here is what makes me think I ought to switch over to up close and personal, because that on that turn, if Sabine does a gunslinger attack, that's 2 dodges you're putting on her. That's also 2 dodges you're putting on Ahsoka before or after she even goes, which is big. That is real big.
Well, let's
big,
couple
big,
that again
big
with
dodge turn.
Jakai, right? There we go.
Yeah, and then with Jarkai, yep.
Yeah, let me convert those. Let me convert those dodges. Let me give those additional dodges. Let me get that dodge that I already have off my order for defend. You know? So it's crazy. Yeah, there's plays to be had here for sure. So all right, let's jump in these next 2 here. We got Swift Protector.
So we got Swift Protector. We've got a sweet art of the 2 Inquisitors that are confirmed for the game attacking Ahsoka. But wait, actually in the background we have a little baby youngling. So younglings confirmed for Legion. Hooray! No, I'm just kidding. There's also Ezra Bridger. So Ezra Bridger confirmed for Legion.
He's confirmed.
Yeah, he is.
Wow.
You almost don't see him at first. Yeah, Dan beat me to it. Is baby Ithorian confirmed for Legion. There it is. Yeah. So
did you confirm the Inquisitors? Did you confirm them yet? Or?
Yes, I said them first. They're now confirmed. I said there's the 2 Inquisitors that are confirmed for Legion. But we only get one order, and it's for Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka Tano gains Guardian 2 this turn, so that's a pretty cool ability. You're going to be able to help defend for somebody else if you need to. While another friendly small base trooper unit at range 1 of Ahsoka Tano is declared as a defending unit, it may gain 1 dodge token. So that's going to be... So that's an interesting turn for me. I'm interested to see how those are going to work, because you've got turns where you're going to... I mean, Ahsoka's probably one of your star characters, if not the star of your list when you're building her. So it's going to be interesting to see who you're defending with her and like wanting to spend Guardian onto her. I mean, you kind of do that with Obi-Wan, so to speak. You use all the Guardian with him, and he's got that pretty amazing defense that he can use. But Ahsoka might... Who is your target for who you're going to be defending with Ahsoka. I mean, she's gonna be handing out dodge tokens to everybody around her like crazy, so that's gonna be kind of nice. Um, you can this would be great play if you have a box carrier who your opponent's focusing on, who's getting dwindled down to the last marks, and you're like, no, hit Ahsoka
a
instead.
commander with bounty token that you're trying
Yeah,
to
exactly, a
protect,
bounty
and
target.
there could be
She's gonna
lots
be
of
like, no, don't do it.
Yeah,
I will defend them. Don't do it.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I think there's some good situations that can come into play with.
Crow Servo saying anti-Blizzard Force turn 1 Bombard card for sure.
Oh, true. There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah, for
That
sure.
should be fun.
So,
And last but not least, we have a new beginning for the 3-pip, Ahsoka Tano and 2 units. And in this art, we have the sweet spoiler warning. We have the sweet wrap up season finale to Rebels season 4, the end of the show, where we have them walking away from that awesome mural that I have a print of. So it's not in this room. I think it's downstairs. But the awesome Rebels mural of the whole crew that Sabine did, which also means, that's right, the whole Ghost crew and the Big Loth Wolves are confirmed for Legion. Let's go! So, we got Ahsoka Tano and 2 units as our orders. At the start of Ahsoka Tano's activation, she recovers. When Ahsoka Tano issues an order to a small base trooper unit, that unit gains either 1 aim token or 1 dodge token. And then Ahsoka Tano also gains Inspire 2. So this is very similar to, and Sabine players will back me up, this is very similar to Sabine's 3-pip, where she can hand out...
Mandalore?
Yeah, Legacy of Mandalore, where she can hand out aims and dodges to her and then to other units. Like, she gets them herself, but when she gives orders to commanders, operative special forces, she gets the aims and dodges herself. Ahsoka does a different version where she is giving those tokens to the people that are getting those orders, and it's only restricted to small base trooper units as opposed to those instead of by their rank. So I think those two cards are going to be those two cards are going to be very similar. They're going to have some fun play to them as well. She also gets a free recovery. So if you got any of those force powers, that you don't need Master of the Force, you got this card. You get your free recovery in there if you need to get that force power back. You got Inspire 2, which all the cool Rebel commanders have it these days. So yeah, that's a really good card that may come into play. Honestly, it may come into play like midway through the game when you need that recovery, you need those extra tokens, and you need that Inspire to get the suppression off. And then maybe that's your new beginning for the rest of the game. It's the start of a new chapter.
I think she has token efficiency and with the ability to teamwork with some others and just gaining free keywords. I think that you will have potentially some room to have the recover action. So, you probably realistically could get your force powers off 3 times if you in the game without having to have too much of a stretch where you're like really making hard choices on recover actions. But yeah, I think she'll be just fine without Master of the Force, and I think that just making you think around the use of Ahsoka. If you just add Master of the Force, I think she maybe becomes too strong at 165.
Maybe too much, yeah.
Yeah, and then you're paying too much, and then you're maybe just saying that's too much to invest in an operative, and then maybe you just aren't making that choice. Again, harking back to earlier point where Ahsoka players will just play Ahsoka regardless of points. But I think that that might be some of the thought around the addition of some keywords, the deletion of others, or non-inclusion of others that we see on some Jedis, and then the points value that she's settled out at. So either way, sounds like Ben's excited about Ahsoka, and I think that there's definitely some play with Sabine. I think that's suggestive, both in the cards and likely on the table. We could probably see some interesting plays there for sure. So, okay, Ben. Well, we're already at 1:52 for time, so we will leave roundtable time for sure. But given the fact that we got a pretty big crowd, maybe we'll have a few people cycling through, so we'll get them through quickly. So not too. Oh,
points in the chat. Everybody point.
Yeah.
Everybody point. Sean.
I actually remembered. So just before
I had to tell you anyway.
Yeah, thank you.
It was my job.
Thank you. You did your job well. So yeah, we'll cycle some people through. But I wanted to point out that while I was doing that earlier, you might have seen me on my phone. I was just typing a text to somebody. Sean, who's in chat, asked me for the donation email, which I sent to him because he said he missed it and wanted to know where you were on the camera, and he sent me a nice message along with a $130 donation. So thank you very, very much, Sean. I want to point that out. It says for your
Thank
camera,
you.
but truthfully, he was saying that it was a thank you because we were able to connect him to his local group through our show. And he was very appreciative of that. So great. I
Well,
mean,
that's
thank
awesome.
you. And I mean, hopefully your connect is long lived and keeps you in Legion and keeps you interested for a long time. So I do thank you. I'll add it to the show notes. We'll have that noted next week, and we're incrementally getting closer. But thank you, and thumbs up in chat for Sean. He's helping out everybody by helping us out. So much appreciated. So. All right, Ben.
I love that.
Want to jump over to Roundtable, which will forever be known as the call center
Call
from
center.
this episode out, and we'll take some calls and we'll preface the topics and hear what people have to say. So I'll see you in a minute. Hey, we've arrived to the round table, and I wanted to I had some funny sound drops. So before we get into the topics, of which are oh what a time, just talking all about our experiences and the things that we encountered over the weekend, of which I'm going to use the sound drops to preface that. See you later, Francisco. I enjoyed that.
Great to see you, man.
Yep. Too long, can't wait. That'll be, in reference to all the things that we know that are coming out that aren't here right now. And have a great night, Dan. Thanks for dropping in. I appreciate that. Adepticon. So if you were at Adepticon, have questions about Adepticon, questions for us about Adepticon, we'll get into those topics. And then Ahsoka hot takes. We'll get into that. Ben's just shared some thoughts with you, but if you have your own, you can certainly drop those in. So as mentioned earlier, Ben and I stayed with a couple individuals, one being Christian, one being J-Rod. They're not here tonight, but I wanted to encapsulate many of our interactions in sound clips. So I'm not going to be shameful in saying this, but I went and found a converter online that was able to take text to speech and convert it into the most appropriate French Canadian accent that I could possibly find. It is not our friend Christian, but I will encapsulate many of the things that he says, and I have a small clip I'm just going to play for you here. It's very, very short, but Ben can attest. These are certainly utterances that we heard this weekend. So here we go.
I am not French. I am French speaking. And by the way, I play Malifaux.
So if you didn't know Christian, he tells me all the time he plays Malifaux, as he likes to say, amongst all kinds of other games. And I tease him a lot about the utterances, and I always call him French, and he is very very quick to tell us as I cannot say what he says after he corrects us and
No.
say I am French speaking, and then there's like two explicits that come in there, and I can't put it because it's a family show. But he is very, very
I am
quick.
French speaking.
Yes, that's
He
exactly
says that.
exactly how that goes. Hey. So Ben is quite. We had a lot of great lines from this weekend. J-Rod also was with us, and very funny individual.
I love the clip you picked to summarize his experience.
Yeah, so really, he says a few things. One of our great lines from the weekend was, Deep Cuts also a sponsor. So that'll be a future episode title for sure. And we do want to thank Deep Cuts. I think Ben's actually sporting them on his sleeve right there, on his shirt. Other one, there we go. Hey, Deep Cuts.
Ooh,
But
Deep Cut
this
Studio.
is my
also sponsor.
This is my summary clip for J-Rod. So.
This is my private area, my place of zen and peace. Please, shut up, Grandma!
Yep, that's definitely J-Rod to a T. So we talked a lot about grandmas and what do we always ask Grandma to make us, Ben? What are we always asking Grandma to make us?
That's chicken sandwich.
It's chicken. It's always chicken. So there you
Pally's
go.
chicken sandwich.
Not Pally's type of chicken sandwich. So yeah, there's always colorful language involved. So all right, well, enough about us and the tomfoolery that we just sort of trailed on to the end of the show here. Let's drop the link and get some people to call in, and maybe they'll stick to the topics, maybe they won't, but we're going to encourage them to, and we always got the exit button that we can hit here. So all right, dropping it into chat right now. So, and if we get a queue, I'll start kicking people out so we get some more callers in. But feel free, call us in, let us know. The call center forever.
Live this call center dream.
Yeah, exactly. You want to live that call center dream, or be a DJ on the side. Oh,
make that sweet call center bank. Let's go.
All right. Okay, we got some people calling in here. All right. The queue's getting full here. Let me drop in a couple people here. And then I'll boot them out after, and we'll get some more folks in. So I think these people can hear us already. So let's drop this guy in here, otherwise known as Yeep.
Hey,
hey, look who it is. Hey, there we go. And then give me 1 second. I'll drop the other one in. Ryan might have a bit of feedback on his end, but there's Andrew in there. So, all right, I'm going to let you go. And then, Ryan, when you're not chatting, I'm going to just mute you because you're a little fuzzy in my ear. But go ahead. What do you got for us, Ryan?
Oh, I was going to let Andrew go.
Okay, Andrew, go ahead.
So, obviously I wasn't at Worlds or anything, but definitely can't wait for Ewoks. I finally got I guess 99% of the indoor village table that I was talking about in a previous episode, almost all done. It has has 3 tree stacks from Imperial Terrain. Has the Crast AT-AT from Legion Terrain. And has some AMG or FFG stuff like the bunker and the down ATST on there as well. On the scatter pieces. It looks really cool when all put together.
All right, full representation
so
of
put the Ewoks on there.
Yeah, full representation of multiple sponsors of the show. We like that. We like they're spreading the wealth around. So we got some Legion Terrain, Imperial Terrain, some AMG. Not a sponsor, but certainly someone we buy models from. Of
Not
course.
yet.
Well, fair enough. Yeah.
Everyone's either a sponsor or a potential sponsor.
Yeah, that was the line. Portillo's not a sponsor yet. But did make some pretty decent food. Well, that's really cool, Andrew. Hopefully we can see some pics when that's all done, and you can share them over to me, and then I can share them up on the screen on a future episode if that's cool.
And I said something akin to that. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and so go ahead, Ben.
I was going to say, I said something akin to it earlier, but like your kind of table is something that we're going to see hopefully a lot more of. I want to see more Endor tables where we have, the elevation and all the kind of crazy stuff to play with now that the rules have changed for movement and cover and stuff like that. So I'm definitely excited to see what you've got in store.
Yeah, definitely for sure found the new rules easier to use with the tables. Getting your basic trooper units to go up the elevation without having to kill their whole activation to do so.
Nope.
Yeah.
Super nice. All right, let's hear what Ryan has to say here. First off, Ryan, what's up with the name tonight, my friend? We got Yeet.
Oh, I need something in there.
You needed something that quick. I was going to answer and hopefully not to screen that out directly.
If I put my name on there, I know you're not going to accept it.
Oh, I accept it every time, my friend. I accept the challenge. So, all right, what's going on, Ryan? Who was at Adepticon?
I was
poisoning this time.
No, so first Adepticon, it was great. It was awesome. Did not play in Worlds, but I did follow it pretty closely. Ended up playing a different game. Got beat to a pulp, which was what I expected. But been playing it 2 months, but I came back with some free plastic. Got to learn the game a lot better. Saw some old faces, met some new faces. It was nice. Ended up getting more friends into the game that I'm now playing. Super excited for that. But yeah, Adepticon was great. Ended up having a sleepover with Justice and Landon and Dakota, which was great. It was an awesome sleepover. We were 40 minutes away from the convention. Super nice.
You guys have lots of room for activities.
Oh, definitely. definitely were activities. Justice and I ended up playing a game of MCP.
Nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
little fun. It was not Star Wars MCP. Did hear that demo was interesting. I'll say
I didn't.
with
do
how
that
they
one.
did that.
Oh, Sean, you didn't get to do it?
I didn't get to do it. No, I chose not to.
I did.
Hey, inquiring minds want to know, Ryan. Did you happen to see my doubles partner?
I have not seen your doubles partner, so it's funny because
I really hope you
Yeah,
have a
I-
hard time about that too. Like a really
no.
hard time.
So he's been trying to, like, he was calling and texting me the last couple days when I got back, but I'm just like, need to unwind, need to focus on school because I was gone for like 2 days and I'm still behind on grading. Thank God I'm on spring break. But I haven't heard from him since. I don't know if you heard, but like there's a new edition of this major tabletop game coming out. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be focused on that, but also he got into another game
Oh,
that
okay.
I've been just like, so like, if you know me, I've reached
Blood
out
and
to you
Plunder.
about, no, not, got back into Blood and Plunder though. Super excited to play that again.
Oh, okay, good.
But if like, you know me, I've reached out to you about, hey, you should definitely play this game. And so far, everyone I've talked to is moving on, which is great.
I can't move
but
on, man.
no,
Oceans are coming. You didn't hear that? Come on, I can't.
Oh, no. So it's funny because I'm driving back and I'm like, okay, let's listen to the AMG stream. And I got put in my place because I was saying, oh, this will be the last Worlds. They're not going to support it. And clear out of nowhere, they're like, oh, hey, we're going to announce, we're going to have more events. And I'm like, okay, super cool that you guys are doing this. It's interesting. And then they decided to preview their entire catalog for the next 20 years.
Maybe less. Maybe
It was
less
a
than
lot.
that.
Yeah. So
Gene
I
Oceans
was
are
like,
only 2028. That's not 20 years out.
It backed
Yeah,
up 2
true.
years since the stream started, apparently, because I was banking on 2026 or less, but now it's 2028. Doesn't matter. The Gene Oceans are coming. All is well in the world.
yeah, which
Looking
was,
forward to it, 2029.
I gave Justice a hard time about that because AMG did confirm that there are only 3 factions,
Three
which
factions.
Whoa.
like, I don't think Will was joking when he said that, just based off of the previous history, but like, since everyone, like, yeah, I'm out of it. I'm not coming back. I've sold, one army. I'm close to selling another one. Just with how they're handling it, what they're pumping out, just definitely feels like a power creep. It's like, I don't want
4th,
anything to do with that.
2023, Mark that. We'll figure out how long it takes Ryan to come back in when he realizes there's still more coolness to be had. So,
Days since Ryan's been gone.
yep.
It
Ryan's been
started
gone,
back
he's been on the
in.
episode. Just pointing this out that Ryan's been on the episode like 3 times since he's quit Legion. Just saying.
I'm here to support a great friend.
That's me.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to support this great man, Sean Morris,
Thank you. Sir. I appreciate that.
who I'm glad made it through customs okay.
Yeah, I mean, I got
Yeah, us
visited
too.
twice on my way through, but it was fine. Although they did at one point just look at the screen and go, and I kid you not, I quote this. I posted it right after. It's him. So I don't know what that means. I don't know why that was a thing, but apparently I was a person because they didn't really pay attention to my bag, but I was pulled aside. But anyway, I got back. I was a little worried about going back because usually you have to fill out like your declaration form, and they were going to be like, did you buy anything? And I did buy a few things, but I certainly didn't buy the value of items that I brought back with me because of the swag bag. And I was like,
Oh,
crap,
yeah.
I don't have any receipts for any of this stuff. And it's like cellophane wrap box, brand new box, sealed box. And I was like, this could be awkward, but nonetheless, I
So
actually
you
put
spent $50 and you got all this stuff, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, likely story. You're going to jail.
No, I brought my Adepticon badge with me with my passport because I was like, if they don't believe me I was at a convention, I'm just going to pull my convention badge out straight away. So
I'm going to whip it on him.
yeah,
Boom.
for sure. But
Yeah.
no, I mean, I'm glad you had a good time at Adepticon, Ryan, being your first, my first, Ben's first. We had nothing bad to say. Striker, who's in chat, also was at Adepticon. You brought your wife. Striker had his wife with him. Ben did not have his girlfriend. I did not have mine, but
I had J-Rod.
yeah, that's fair. And I had Christian, which basically I had to chaperone. So there was that. But how did that work out? Like, what did your wife think of the whole event? Was it like enough for her to be there or see or?
So back when I played Legion competitively, she would tag along with me at all the tournaments, and she would like the whole reason we went to Dallas was one to play Legion, but two she wanted to use it as a vacation because she wanted to go to Waco, which is like 45 minutes away. So when I said, "Hey, I want to go to ADEPTICON," she's like, "Oh, cool. Never been to Chicago." Well, we're in a suburb of Chicago because inner Chicago's like 40 minutes away. She enjoyed it. She had fun. She's not as much as a nerd as I am. Like after like going, going 3 days to a convention and demoing everything, watching me play 6 rounds instead of 5 of a game that she's now starting to understand how I'm playing it. She got kind of tired of it, but luckily Dakota brought his wife. So someone to hang out with as well, and they went out and they demoed all these games, which I'm going to be getting us. And when I say us, our group of 5 that we demoed here pretty soon. Like, it was good. I sent her on some missions, hey, demo Blood and Plunder, hey, demo Call to Arms. We got to relearn how to play these. Overall, like, she had a great time. She told me she may not want to come back. More likely she'll be back. I got to cross Gen Con off my list here pretty soon.
You definitely do need to do that one for sure.
Absolutely. That's the convention to go. That's the gaming convention for me. That's like the staple.
I was gonna ask Andrew. Andrew, do you have any conventions on your sort of bucket list that you want to get at and see or take in or partake in as a participant?
Not in the immediate future. I do have tentative plans to at least hit up ACO.
Okay,
in
that's
June.
cool.
Nice. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're at a convention to do something and you're kind of engaged with that, like that becomes kind of your experience anyways. Like you can go to Gen Con and be pretty much just pigeonholed into one area if you're doing something for the balance of the weekend. You can also spread yourself all over. Like I feel like Christian was like in a lot. Like he was doing Kings of War, and he did what else did he do?
Mm-hmm.
He did Kings of War, and then whatever the other 2.
I think there was a Kings of War event he did.
Yes, there was a Kings of War event he did. There was 2 other games by Mantic. He played like 4 Mantic games for sure. He went
Was
to
one of them
Mantic.
Malifaux?
No, he did not play Malifaux. It's actually pronounced Malifaux.
It's
If you're
Malifaux?
saying it correctly.
Oh,
So,
my bad.
Yeah, Stryker said his wife had a good time. She will likely paint more next year, and they did have kind of cool like little paint and hobby stations, which was kind of a cool thing. And I don't remember ever seeing those at Gen Con, and maybe they do. But
Well, Sean, that's because at
some.
ADEPTICON, like, you're going to have unpainted models, and you have to get those models painted. It's tradition. I partook in said tradition.
Only if you buy, like, literally, like Ryan, and buy a model the night before you need it for the tournament the next day, and you have to, like, both assemble, prime, paint, and you're free.
So I was not the only one who did that. A guy I played actually, so for the game I play now, they released models and had them for ADEPTICON. So he shows up on Thursday, buys them, stays up till 4 a.m, putting them together, priming them, and putting on a 3-color minimum. And everyone was like, how the hell did he do this? I'm like, well, he stayed up till 4 a.m. doing it.
Yep.
It was insane. Like, the adrenaline rush of I have this model and I need to put it together for my tournament in like 8 hours. It's an awesome feeling.
Yeah, no, not for me. That's just anxiety arising, feelings. So, yeah.
Y'all will be weirded out when I say that I actually had to do this year 1 for Gen Con. But I didn't buy anything there. It was just I was playing in a tournament the next morning, and 10 o'clock at night I realized, oh, my list has 5 Rebel units in it, and I only have 3 painted. So I had to get 2 painted, like, super fast. And, like, I was like, oh, man, I got to get these painted and play the next morning. oh crap, I gotta get these painted. So every time someone's like, oh man, painting models the night before your event is the pinnacle of the adrenaline for your event. I'm like, yeah, I've actually weirdly been there.
Awesome. I just dropped the call-in button again, too, if anybody wants. I'll leave Andrew and Ryan until we have some other people call in. But I want to give shout-outs to Dakota, because I know you were last-minute painting, Ryan, but let's give shout-outs to Dakota, who literally painted in the car on the way to Adepticon.
Oh, yeah. And he actually let me borrow his stuff, too, because I was like, I got to get this model. Just one model. I'm like, I got to get this painted. Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, hey, here you go."
Yeah, but and I can't confirm that he was not driving while painting, and I can't confirm that he was. But in my mind, I only envisioned this like hand on steering wheel and painting at the same time. I know he wasn't. I'm just that in my mind, that's how the legend goes. That's not even a story. That's a legend at this point. So. Yeah, painting while driving to Adepticon, that is absolutely fantastic. So,
I do think everyone. So, yeah, I do think everyone should like go to Adepticon at some point. Like not just for an event, but just go into like. I met so many content creators, ran into so many like guys I watch for, just for fun on YouTube or whatever, and it was great to just be surrounded by a lot of other like-minded individuals. To where like we're nerds, we love painting, love assembling, but also like playtesting new games. Like it's fun to see what's going out and what's happening.
Yep, and like I said, everyone is very accessible there. So like if you wanted to walk up at any point and talk to Simone or Will or Dallas or in my case, I was talking to Alex, John Matthews from Battlefront, John Cleaves from DGS. Like I could tour around all weekend, and I did my rounds on Sunday to say goodbye to everyone, and my hellos on Thursday, and you cross paths with people, and you're catching up with people who you haven't seen. In my case, I hadn't seen in a while, and I was talking to Ryan Slawski. Him and I had played Gen Con, and we kind of realized I think maybe that was the last time, and like. It doesn't seem like I haven't talked to him for that long, kind of thing. Luke, speaking to Luke Cook, meeting some folks from the UK who I met Simon, who's interested in doing some content, and so we were kind of talking about what's a good entry point, what's the concept of the show, and just making those connects, and speaking to some of the other podcasters, and and just doing you do much more than just play games when you go to conventions. If you're really kind of in deep dive into a community, and for that matter though, you can explore new communities, kind of thing. So in the case of Christian, I'll just speak about him though. He was partnered up with an individual he didn't know. But they had connected and decided to go in the team tournament, and then they played in some singles tournament, and he listens to a particular Mantic podcast, and so when he was speaking to that group, I came to the realization that the podcaster for Mantic Games was a huge fan of the work that I did, and so he's like, hey, come up and meet this guy, he wants to chat to you. So I went up there and did that, and it was great walking around, and the same thing with War Scenery. They didn't realize who I was when I was first talking to them, and then we got talking about stuff, and then I just explained one of the things, and he's like, oh, you've done this, and I was like, yeah, and I've done. He's like, oh, you've done that, and we just got into this very lengthy conversation, and now hopefully into a future relationship here with Friday Night Fights, which is exceptionally awesome. Like that's why why I enjoy going there, and being I'm a face on here, but this only gets you so far, but meeting and talking to people in person is always an added benefit too. So yeah, and catching up with Ryan, and Ryan trying to give you hugs and stuff is sufficiently awesome.
Yeah, that was like the first thing I tried to do, and you're like, no.
I forgot to hug Sean. I told myself I was gonna do it.
Right.
No, like that was the first thing, because I was hugging everybody because I hadn't seen a ton of people in months, and like first thing I do to try to hug Sean, he's like, whoa, hold on. If you do it, then I have to give hugs to everybody. I'm like, kind of special though. Like,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm quite certain. I think our Chilean brethren definitely had to he had to get a hug at the end of the game. But I feel like
Shut
like
up!
that's
You got a
much more
hug?
custom. Well, here's the thing.
Shoot.
You know what? You
I don't
got
know if I got a
activation-
hug.
You got an
Come on.
activation bag. So let's not.
I'll
talk
trade
about
you.
Who,
I'll trade you.
Okay.
You give me the hug, yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah. I'll give you the
Fantastic.
bag, yeah.
Oh goodness.
I'll stop talking about sleepovers.
No, we are so done with sleepovers. So yeah, that was,
That's what you think.
being proximal to
I'm not.
Ben was as much as asleep. I couldn't get Ben out of our room. He's over there. He's setting up games on my bed with like random. Somebody asked earlier. I'm not sure if you saw that, Ben, but they asked like what was the Zinvader table. He's like, what did the table look like? And
Oh yeah.
basically
Well,
looked like
I was
the
gonna say
ADEPTICON swag bag dumped out onto a bed is what it
We did.
effectively looked like.
because for those of you who don't know, Zinvaded is right here. Zinvaded is a 1-to-1
Not a
scales minigame. Not a sponsor.
Yet.
Potential sponsor. Everything is always a potential sponsor until it happens. So Zinvaded
don't
is
know
a
this game,
1-to-1
this game's
scale
fun.
minigame.
It's good. It's
So these are your models right here. They're these little insectoid soldiers that are they're insects from another world, and they came to invade our world. Come to find out, their recon was bad. The intel's always bad. That they thought people were Space Marine size, and then they found out people are people sized, and half of their fleet was like, "Oh, we can't go through this invasion. We can't continue to conquer Earth." And the other half was like, "Nah, full send. We're doing it. We can figure it out." And so now they have civil wars over trying to get control of the fleet, so they can decide whose agenda they want to further. So the table that you play on is your table because they're fighting in our world, and they are that small. So you've got your soda can. This is terrain. When he says we dumped out the swag bag and we used it as terrain, that's not an exaggeration whatsoever, and it was perfectly good for the game because we just used con boxes and stuff. I have pictures. We'll see it in the video. But
What is this called?
It's called Zinvaded. I'll put it in the chat. But I did 2 demos of this over the weekend. They sadly were not at ADEPTICON, so I went to go represent for them because I'm good friends with the creator. And he's always at Gen Con though, so you can catch him at Gen Con. That's where I met him. That's where I got into it. And he's hoping to be at ADEPTICON next year. He said that was his goal. But they just got their website refurbished. They're in some game stores. They're getting their name out there. They're expanding. But it is so charming and so much fun. If you need a fun little skirmish minigame that you could like play in a restaurant while you're waiting for your food, even, or just in a hotel while you're waiting on your flight. This is an amazing fun game. Anyway, that was the fun plug. More in dice time.
I was trying to game the system as I was like saying, hey, so if I put a water bottle down in front of my units when it's your turn to shoot at them, they're covered. No problem.
It was like,
and then when
ooh,
it's my turn,
I need
I'm just
this.
gonna
I
take
need
a
this drink.
Yeah,
Now you don't have cover. Oh, I'm so
move the
sorry.
cover, we're good to go. So if you were looking to be a terrain builder and you also have a bag of garbage, you actually can be both. You can take out the trash,
just did
spill it on. And here's the thing: as a person with a 4-year-old, what I have learned is that a toy room that is destroyed no longer needs to be picked up. It has now become the best Zinvaded tabletop ever. So
yeah,
that's
don't clean your room just yet. We have a game to play.
Exactly.
Hey Ben,
Exactly.
my wallet just told me that it hates you.
You definitely.
Because as you're talking, I'm like pulling it up right as like you're
But here's
talking
the
about
thing.
it. Oh,
If you're pulling it up, you're seeing the price. It's actually pretty easy to get.
No,
into.
yeah. So
The starter set for both starters for 2 players is like $50 or $60, like super easy, and then one character's like 13.
So that actually reminds me of a game that so my wife Dakota and his wife, they were all touting this game they play tested called Gunfighter's Ball.
Okay.
And basically it's this RPG tabletop game. It's played on like maybe a 2x2 and it's in the West. And you have a DM, makes a backstory for all the characters, sets the scene. They're like, you got to play this. It's super great. So I get there and I'm playtesting it with them, and they have nicknames for all the characters. Like there's one gal who they call her Cardi B, who is misogynistic, like hates women.
Oh, no.
And part of her thing is like, if a female character's within range, she has to like shoot her first, and it's all with cards and activations. Well,
Jeez.
I'm sitting there, and Dakota's wife activates first. She's like, I want to run out of the saloon and jump on a horse. Well, she gets to do that because she rolled well. So her 2 actions are done. Well, he draws from the stack again. Oh, she gets to go again. She's like, I want to shoot the horse across the street. And then, and that's where Justice is standing there. And she's like, she gets to shoot the horse, kills the horse, and then runs in the saloon to pick me up. And I'm like, what is this game? This is awesome. So when we got back, I'm pulling it up because they're like, yeah, it's 170 for the starter. Well, we're looking at it. We're like, we don't need dice. We need the cards. Mm-hmm. And we're looking at the models and everything. We're like, the rules are free. We can print and play everything. And we're like, we can spend like $70, $80 on this. We're going to get it. So in like next couple of weeks, like, and it's awesome too, because it's something that our group can play together and have a game night like maybe once, twice a month.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end with a story, real briefly. Probably wrap it in 7 minutes. End this at the 2:30 mark. You guys are welcome to stay. I want to talk about, because you just talked about is invaded, and we got what'd you call that gun? What is it?
Gunfighter's Ball.
Gunfighter's Ball. I want to talk about my Blood and Plunder experience.
Oh my god! All right, here we go. Good night, everybody.
Oh, this is great.
Okay, so J Rod's he was getting a little big for his britches, and I was
day zero.
Yeah, day zero, a little too much to handle. He and I it was Thursday, I think. Yeah, Thursday. We were just walking around. And I was like, hey, I actually signed up for 2 Blood and Plunder demos because I wasn't sure which
there
one
he
to
is.
get to. And is he in chat?
Yeah, he just showed up.
Okay, hold on. I got to drop this in. This guy, the disrespect. I knew that.
Oh, this is great.
J Rod, drop in. While we're waiting for J Rod to
get in here.
Let me just remind you what I had to listen to this guy all weekend.
This is my private area, my place of zen and peace. Shut up, Grandma!
Yeah, so that's almost a direct quote from this individual. J Rod, I dropped that link in there, and I better see you calling in here with it.
Come on, Justin, get in here.
Yeah, because here it is. Oh, and this is Landon. Landon, you're clogging up.
No, Landon, go away.
Jam it up here, Landon. Hold on, let's disconnect to Landon here for a second here. We need J Rod in this call. J Rod, but so we go play the Blood and Plunder demo, right? And we sit down. He gets the British, and he gives me the Pirates because surely he thinks they're going to be the worst faction. We got 2 boats lined up, similar on both sides. I'm Blackbeard.
I love the way you're setting it up too.
He's some other guy, and so J Rod makes we make the opening initiative roll, which happens to be the last good roll that he makes in the entire game that we play. I think we might have set the record for the shortest demo, tabled in 2 turns. I'm pretty sure that's not how the demo was set up. It was an hour-long demo. We only lasted 20 minutes. My money wasted. Anyway, so activation 1. Justin's got all the options in the world. Shoot, meander, drink, do whatever. He decides go hard 90 with the boat straight into mine. Guys says that's probably not recommended, but it's something you can do, my friend. So he makes the hard left turn straight into my boat. Justin thinks he's got the game in hand already, but he's got to make a grappling roll. You got to get on my boat. He fails that, much like he fails almost everything else in the game. So he doesn't make the grappling roll. Now it's over to me, and basically the rest is history. But I will go into the glorious details of this.
Sean.
I see him in here. He's got the invite. He's just failing to take the challenge. So basically, what I do is I say,
drops link again.
Can I come across since this individual's failed the grappling roll? What about me? Oh, don't even worry about it, young sir. You're just automatically gonna go across there. I go across. I happen to have pistols. My pistols happen to get rerolls. Apparently, according to Justin, I got all the benefits, all the buffs. I just happen to roll good. I'm rolling 9s. The guy's like, you need 7s or better. This is probably going to be pretty difficult. 9, 9, 10, 9, 9. I was like, these dice were awesome. live at that call center.
Oh, for
so-
context, Blood and Plunder uses D10s.
Yeah, it
For
does
context.
it does use D10s.
Nice. Okay.
So effectively, I come across the boat, and you'd think that my shots are pretty lucky, and he's got to roll saves, and he's got ways to disarm me and grappling. Sorry, not grappling, but spears, defending spears, and all these things. So Justin tries to make rolls. I'm not sure first day of Blood and Plunder, but when you start removing basically all your models, that's never really a good thing in a game. So basically got one unit, jump across again, got his second unit. His troops basically start to mutiny. Again, being new at Blood and Plunder, jumping over the side doesn't seem like a great tactic, but that's what all his troops started to do. And then finally, to finish it off, I got Blackbeard. He's not drunk yet, so he jumps across, because apparently you can get drunk in this game, and that hinders your guy. But luckily, I got Blackbeard on a sober day. I think he's a few days sober at this point. Jumps across, kills the commander. His entire army runs away. It's over in 2 turns, and Blood and Plunder basically is the best game I've ever played in my life. Justin may have a different opinion, but yeah, we're into it. I'm world champion, and he's never won a game. So that's effectively
You bought the starter, right?
If you see the Blood and Plunder, it's basically a load-bearing box. The box for Blood and Plunder is ginormous. I wanted to purchase it, but I also didn't want to purchase a U-Haul or a cube van to drive home. And
Right.
So I'm gonna I'm gonna order Blood and Plunder, but it is amazing. So we then started talking to the owner. I loved it because basically everything that Justin wanted to do or tried to do, the guy's like, basically this is how it happened. After he failed to do the grappling roll, which I think was almost an automatic, he turns to me and he goes, "You're about to have a really good time." That's what he says. That's what he says to me, which was basically the beginning of the end. I'm not sure what tactics Justin was trying to employ, but they didn't go over too well. I proceeded to not let him live it down for the entirety of the weekend. He thought he was going to seek redemption in our Invaded game. He had me on the ropes for a second, but he overextended himself, and I ended up destroying him in that game as well. And so basically 0 for 2 against me in the games. So
Can I add a little more context too?
Add as
Because
he's not here to defend himself, so all the dirt.
So you also basically robbed him too, because I remember on Thursday he bought you dinner. And and you're just giving it to him, and he's sitting there, sad little Justin eating his Chicago deep dish pizza, trying to defend himself, like, "Oh, I didn't make a bad choice." No, like,
yeah, he made a bad
yeah,
choice.
it was so great.
The table is how that went. So yeah, it's all good.
So Sean will kick your ass in a game, steal your food, steal your lunch money, might steal your dog. Steal your Adepticon prizes, like,
and still accept your
bully.
By the way, so
still accept, but straight up bully during Adepticon.
Yeah,
bully.
It's how it happens. So it was
Convention
exceptionally
bully.
fun, and it set a tone for the weekend. And as Justin pointed out here, the lies, the collusion, and the disrespect that effectively would be almost a new
It's
motto
the disrespect for me.
Yeah, it's the disrespect for Ben. So I'm still hoping that Ben remembers where he parked his car. And yeah.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, it was a thing. So Andrew, if you ever get a chance to come to Adepticon, don't go with us.
Stay away from Sean.
but
Yeah, I was gonna say, after for all of us people watching Friday Night Fights, anybody who goes against someone in a game that involves rolling dice, bad move.
Yeah. It's and that's what Alex. But Alex put me in my place after. He's like, you've rolled an exceptional amount of crits, young sir, and he stopped giving me.
We're gonna have to average you out.
Combo advice, yeah, and then he proceeded to do all the great things. So it's
Sean, have you tried deck building games?
No.
Okay, I think we found the weakness.
Oh, gotcha.
We should try. Well, we have potential weakness. We have to try it.
Oh, true.
Says he's bought into Blood and Plunder to get revenge.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
So we're having a FNF Blood and Plunder party at some point.
It's too bad we just missed it, but I think that would have been if we were gonna do it, it would have been hilarious to do on April 1st as a Friday night fight, advertise it as Legion, and then show up we're playing Blood and Plunder.
Oh, that'd be great.
So Justin and I were joking about like we wanted to go.
Training has already begun.
He wanted to go back to the table. And so in Blood and Plunder, we were using I think like little sloops, and they come in the core set. But you can get up to like the 2.5 foot, 3 foot galleons, or like $400 ships. So we were kind of joking that we're gonna pull up the demo table and then say like, you know, we brought some components from home and just drop on a galleon, you know, open up with like 240 guns per side and just
show me how this works.
Yeah. So
but you
this
can
guy. The disrespect in chat right now. Not even no gall to call in. He's got the ability to call in and defend himself, and he chooses to fight from a keyboard. I mean, typical. I mean, I think Ben could attest. That's kind of what we've come to expect from this individual.
So, Sean, you can actually change your cannons on your ships. Just so you know, I'm helping you out, Justin. You can't. Sean can though.
You can't.
So Justice said he's trying to. Yo, fair enough. I put that link back in there. He said he's on hold. I think he's making that up. But one of the things we also mentioned about was it you, Ben, that came up when you like just first completely disregarded the fact that Justin even existed in at our ADEPTICON trip?
Omitted.
Yes.
He was just omitted, and then I was like, so because there was so many problems of like, it wasn't me, it was like random people like forgetting he was there, forgetting his name, or not including him in something, and it just became a trend really quickly. So I was just like, so when does Justin get a new jersey and we get him a new nickname? It's either omitted or it's Mr. Relevant.
Yeah, Mr. Relevant. Yeah, exactly. So, hey,
or Sean's punching bag.
Yeah, it was.
Well, we all get that. That's all like a subtitle under our nickname.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. Hey, you guys were dishing it out. I cried some tears just in the confines of my own room later on in the evening. So.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, I miss those.
Yeah, that's why they were
in
in
the
the
deck building games. Have you guys played the new Star Wars one?
The deck
I
building
have.
game?
Not yet. I own it, but I have not played it. I've seen it,
Okay.
but I haven't played it.
Got
no one to play with
get
yet,
it.
but it's really fun. It looks really fun. I watched the stream where they did it. My local store had it with the what are they? The Hobby League or Hobby Next. They had a Hobby Next exclusive game sleeves for all the cards that were the box art, and they were so cool. I was like, well, I was gonna like buy this at ADEPTICON or buy this somewhere else, but since my local game store has the sleeves, I'll just get that right now and sleeved all the cards that night. And I don't have anyone to play it with yet, but it's fun. It looks
who
fun.
streamed it?
I was about. Sorry,
MG streamed it.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah, they did a show you how to play stream of it. Yeah.
They also dropped.
Hold on.
Oh, so with real quick before Justin, brings a flamethrower, they FFG actually announced a 2v2 game mode for the game.
Oh, for the deck builder.
Yeah, 2v2.
Ooh, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. All right. Justin, who's here to defend himself. I mean, if that is your real name. What do you got to say, young man? What do you got to say? Oh, we don't have any volume.
Oh, Sean muted him. Sean muted him.
I did not mute him.
Audio omitted.
We omitted the audio.
Omitted audio.
He's got to act out the weekend now, but via.
Try writing it on cards.
Write it on your Blood and Plunder cards. They don't matter.
I assume Justin, you can hear us though, eh? Yeah, he can hear us. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
that. Try spelling it out with hand signals.
Oh, okay. We can hear audio.
How about now?
We can hear you.
There we go. All right. So the disrespect was real. It was it was everywhere. The guy, number one, did not give me any advice. He said, "Yes, you can certainly do this," and then turns to Sean. He's made a huge mistake. He's made a huge mistake. You're going to want to grapple back and just blow him out of the water. It was the quickest demo probably in the history of Blood and Plunder. It was amazing.
It's basically a demonstration on how not to play Blood and Plunder, I think.
I think rolling ones 40% of the time on a D10 is probably not what you want to do.
I read the back of
It's
the
no
book.
good.
It says definitely don't do that.
Definitely don't do that. But I have.
But you got the
I
game
have bought
anyway.
in. The training has happened. I'm coming straight for your neck, and I will have my revenge.
You heard it first, I guess. So, yeah.
It's happening.
Can we have it streamed?
Oh, I mean,
Well,
Please.
in case I get tabled again, maybe not.
That's not confidence. You need the confidence.
hey,
We'll see.
Maybe you
We'll
perform
see.
better on stream.
Maybe not. Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't rolling any better in
Only one way to
Zinvader. That's
find
for
out.
sure. That's true.
Justin, were you here earlier when I dropped the sound clip for Christian?
Oh no, I was not.
Okay, let me drop it. Let me drop it for you right now.
Give it to me.
I am not French. I am French speaking. And by the way, play Malifaux.
It's about as accurate.
Accurate.
Exactly. Excellent. All right, I do appreciate you calling in for sure, and setting the record straight. I mean,
Make sure that people know.
100% accuracy that I portrayed the story in. So,
All right. Take it easy, boys.
all right, cheers. All right, well, there you have it. So confirmed. I can't speak for getting bad advice. That's he had one option, made the wrong one.
Who was that, by the way?
Who? Oh, that
was
guy
That called in. Yeah, who did
Who
call
was
in?
that called in?
He did look familiar.
I'm unsure. I'm putting him on the do not answer list for next week.
Was that Landon?
Yeah, is he still in the green room, by the way?
No, Landon's not. I couldn't accept Landon's call because I had to wait for the call in, and apparently Anthony was trying to call in earlier, trying to give me the baseball score, so I just didn't answer his call either. But that's not accurate. What's going on, Anthony? Friday, we're gonna play some Friday night fights. I don't know who's playing who, but we're gonna have a game, so you're probably involved.
Playing some Zinvaded.
Let's go.
Or Blood and Plunder.
Full disclosure, I know
Or
that
both.
we're trailing on having a good conversation here. That's all not Legion, but
Oh wait, Shatterpoint, because you got a copy of it, right? Because you had that thing during a ADEPTICON and they just handed it out.
Okay, so let me point this out because I mean Ryan's just trying to make me go here. I'm not doing any Shatterpoint. I will say two things.
Is.
I will say two things about Shatterpoint. I think that people that got the demo have to understand that they got. I did just pick up Zinvaded dude. Look at this guy. J-Rod he's
Let's go.
Small aside. J-Rod is 100% training from now until next Adepticon, and he's like not worrying about Legion. It's just that he's gonna walk us through the demo tables.
Hey, you guys want to play a fun demo?
Play this demo.
Yeah, that's probably what he's gonna do. Hey, Sean, come here. See, let's play this demo game. All right.
Yeah,
So he's slipping all these developers $50 under the table.
guy pulls out the demo. He just slides it aside. He's like, he's got his own pre-painted whatever game. Insert game here armies.
Well, I've never seen this game. Oh wait, I have seen this game once with all my elite meta units. Let's go. Demo.
Exactly, yeah. Just like, what is this guy? He's playing the meta in solitaire even. Wow, this guy.
Yeah. How you like it now, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm getting comeuppance. That's fine. I live for comeuppance. So Shatterpoint, the demo, from my understanding and all accounts, was a scripted demo, and so they had
Garbage.
basically they had an agenda in terms of like what they had to walk people through, and I don't think it was a full like you get to do kind of whatever you want, but they were trying to get people through, and I think that will have an evolution. But I would also say that I've seen that in the FFG model as well, where you kind of just get walked through particular scenarios, and I've also seen that in a few other games that I've kind of done demos, and they want to get you through certain elements of the game within the time frame you have, and you only had so long, and so I can understand the model. I've seen it before, so I don't know if you want to. I guess it would be called a demo, but it's not a demo like you think. Like Blood and Plunder, where the guy just like literally let us do whatever and let Justin make all the like completely wrong choices. That's a true demo. But if we walked away from the table and he'd be like, "Oh, that's terrible," you just get like crushed in 4 seconds, and I'm like, "I'm buying the starter set. This is awesome. I'm great at this game." That might be a misrepresentation as well. So I think the people who went away from Shatterpoint like what they saw. I don't know how much they got through. That was, I think, the only thing that people maybe weren't aware or weren't familiar with that style of demo. I will say one thing on the positive side from the Shatterpoint linked to Legion, that me seeing the terrain in physicality, like the physical form, I am way less concerned that it's like has any issues to translate over to be usable Legion terrain. I saw crates and stuff on the Shatterpoint tables, and I saw larger crates of the exact same design on the Legion table, and no one would really scoff at either one of it. I'm not necessarily super thrilled with this sort of design, but my understanding is it has a reconfiguration component to it, so that's kind of cool. But in terms of usability, scale, and then look, it would translate fine. So if you are playing both games and you want to buy it for the terrain, which Ben mentioned, like I want to buy this and I want to definitely get dual use out of the terrain, I would fully endorse that. I think it would be fine to use. So that's definitely something that I saw that from a distance. I had a look at the Shatterpoint stuff because the terrain that they have was set up was really cool, like the tables and the demo. So I didn't play it.
I played it.
Yeah, fair enough. So Ben played it, and yeah, I think it.
And J-Rod, we teamed up. I stupidly gave him. Okay, look, there was.
You mean J-Rod won a game? Don't tell me you won.
We got to roll. Listen, we got to roll dice twice, and so we were like,
so he rolled once.
No. We split up the dice. He would give us the pool, and they're like, here, you're rolling 8 dice or whatever, and then we'd each pick up 4, and we'd be like, all right, let's roll together. So the first roll we did. We were rolling defense for one of our clones were getting shot, and we rolled defense, and I rolled like 2 blocks of whatever, and then 2 blanks, and all Justin rolled were blanks. And I was just like, man, I stupidly gave you dice to roll in a demo. I don't know what I was thinking. That was a dumb decision. But then he turns it around. The man turns it around. We move up. We get to move Anakin up. And we move Anakin up to fight Kalani. He gets just in the melee range of Kalani, which is supposed to be like the ending point. You do one attack with Anakin to Kalani, and then that's the end of like the experience, I guess. And we split up the dice again, and he rolled nothing but like criticals, the best result on the die. And I rolled a couple of them, so we did like so we rolled like
rolls a dice that goes blank, and then he just walks over and turns it to a crit.
Well done, he just said in the chat, totally redeemed myself. So we took Kalani from full health to like, I guess they have like lives basically, so you take them out, so many on their health, and then kind of like MCP where you like flip the card over. They have something kind of like that. So we took him from full health to 1 segment down, or like 1 life down in 1 attack, and we were like, dang, that was pretty good. A pretty good roll.
I would say the scale's not for me, and my personal preference is I like smaller scale games. Legion is kind of like the first. Well, I played some Warhammer back in the day, but I don't mind Legion, and I would be even probably more in love with Legion if we went even smaller scale because we can get larger things. But my preference is for small scale games. I like them. Shatterpoint is actually smaller than I thought it was going to be perfectly honest. Like the bases are quite large in comparison to the figures, but the models are really nice, super nice. It's just not for me, but the models and the terrain looked great, and I think that people who are going to play it will enjoy it. It won't be me, it won't be on our channel, but that's, I mean, I don't have X-Wing or Armada on here either, so it's not really any different. It's not right. Any different than that, but I think people will like it. And
let me get quick opinion from you two. Shatterpoint, yes, no? Thoughts?
No.
No. That's fine.
Hell no.
Okay.
No.
Big no.
There you go.
No, sorry. I like when Sean.
Corner over here. Sorry,
well,
you
when Sean turns F and F into a Shatterpoint channel, because AMG's gonna want him to do that at some point. Like, I still won't do it.
Need somebody covering Legion. Gotta get some Legion games in, so. I'm
no,
sure
like
somebody will do Shatterpoint. I'm sure they'll do the equivalent.
You mean that other content creator that covers almost every other game, but doesn't cover every game?
There's lots of them out there. I was okay on the topic of covering content. I was very impressed with the community for Armada, and like how big and like, you know,
dude.
yeah, and like, you know, they had coverage, they had their worlds. Like when we went to dinner with the Polish players, like more than 3/4, I think basically all but one of them was there to be playing in the worlds for Armada.
Dude, they're dedicated. That community is very, and I came from that community to ironically play Legion, which is weird. But anyway, yeah, dude, they're dedicated. They're super excited that they actually get tournaments again, that they get their rapid reinforcements, which is like their print and play card pack. So like they're super, any bit of content, like I could say, hey, here's a new token, and they'll get excited for it. Like they eat, breathe, sleep Armada.
Well, and I had a question for them when we were out to dinner. I said, are you worried, or what's the landscape of your game where you're not getting a lot of releases? I said, do you just have like a very stagnant meta that's like really kind of just come to basically a standstill? And what they explained to me was that no, and because they haven't got a lot, what's happened is that somebody will kind of crack the code and will come up with some sort of counter to whatever it might be at the pinnacle at a certain point, and then there's like a cascading, like basically an arms race again, where people then start exploiting that particular thing to break whatever was at the top, and then you get a reshuffling of who's at the top, and that's really interesting. And we probably are maybe at a point like that right now in Legion. And I wouldn't say that there's just like one, but we have some pretty top lists right now, and we seem to have a top faction right now. But with new releases and
we
more
seem
thinking about, I'm just being suggestive.
Right.
We have a Shadow Collective make it to the final.
We might
too. So we had a Shadow Collective kind of make it to the top of Worlds too. So I think there is definitely the strongest faction. I think there's a hierarchy for sure. I think we've seen a list perform quite well against many other lists, but not unbeatable for sure. I think it wins a lot of the straight up matchups, and I think it's very strong at submissions. But it was interesting to see that a game that has not had a lot of releases still is not at full stagnation where there can't be a competitive scene. So that just, I thought that was an interesting point, and kind of left a glimmer of hope if there's ever a time where you feel like it's really stagnant and there's no movement. I think you could still have movement within a game with few releases. So yeah. Don't even get me started on Gar Armada. Okay, well, we won't Canadian Bear because we're going to end off there.
Gar Armada.
I mean, are they even a faction?
Fair enough. So I said not start, and I'll have you point out that two people here on the panel, Andrew, present company excluded, decided to take quick jibes there. So we're not going to let Ben or Ryan get involved in this because there's no stopping these guys. So especially Ben.
Yeah, I'm unstoppable.
He's got fire.
I'm so unstoppable. I started my own podcast.
And I'm just an immovable object.
For sure. I'd like to see AMG flesh out the Pikes and Black Suns to make their own factions. Black Sun's scary.
Oh,
nope.
Like they're like, what? Can't you just run Shadow? Can't you just run Shadow Collective as only
all
Pikes?
Black Suns?
Yeah.
Or all Black Suns?
Weird.
Yeah.
Oh look, Ben solved the problem. Next episode of Dice Time. How to make something their own faction.
Speaking, we better let Ben plug that. When is the next episode of Dice Time, Ben? And when will we have the vlog video released for the general public consumption?
Okay, no satisfying answer for both of those, unfortunately. So it was going to be next, this coming Sunday was going to be the Dice Time episode. However, as I've reached out to Paul to get that scheduled, he's like, I'm in Tennessee all this week, and I'm like, oh, well, never mind then. So that's not happening. So it'll maybe be.
I volunteer to distribute.
Okay, you'll be Paul. I just need you to sound like Paul and do Paul things, and you can do it.
Hi, my name is Paul.
That's perfect. Great job.
Oh, perfect.
I like it. But then the other video, I'll probably actually get that done sooner because that can just be done on my own time. I wanted to have it done for this episode, but since I came back, I've had a lot of people have had. They got to get their rest in. I've been actually like shocked at the amount of low energy I had all for the coming week after ADEPTICON. I was just like, man, I really have like little to no energy whatsoever in the day, and that's so like it's so unlike me. I'm usually able to just jump up and just do whatever I want. Go do things.
I came back
Just
Tuesday
getting
and I played in a tournament on Saturday. So I'm not sure what's what was your excuse.
Hey, wait,
I
didn't you play on Sunday? Oh, wait.
No, I played on Saturday. Saturday this week, Saturday.
I did at least get to go to my game store the the same weekend, or like the week after ADEPTICON, and I at least got to see my locals, and everyone wanted to hear all the experiences and do all that. So I was like, I gotta at least get to the game store and talk to those people. But otherwise, yeah, I've been taking it very easy after getting back because I've had to recover more than I thought I did. So didn't account for that. So we're gonna get the video. The vlog is gonna be very fun. It was my first event where I wanted to see like, can I record just about everything that happened and try to capture it all up in a video? So there's a lot of fun in there. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Did you get some J-Rod snoring? Tell me you got some J-Rod snoring.
No, we did not record that.
Did you sneak?
I wasn't
any
gonna
photos
mention
of
it either, but
did you sneak any photos of miniatures on my display board when I wasn't looking?
Yes, there will be a fun transition you will notice through the video. There were 6 separate times where I took pictures of my miniatures on Sean's display board when he was not looking. That was a fun series to do.
Yep.
He'd be off talking about Malifaux or something, and I'd be like
Malifaux. I was talking about King's War. Yeah.
Or same thing, and I'd be like, oh, look funny if I put Yoda on your display board right before, like, chopping up droids.
Some of us were trying to play Serious Legion. Ben was trying to fool around. So,
nah, man.
All right.
All my games that I fooled around in are the ones I won.
Fair. Full praise to the
podcasts.
Full praise to anyone who hung around to the end point. Full credit to Andrew for sitting here and dealing with all things that were whatever we talked about.
Some must bring balance to the force.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Dakota probably painted an army somewhere as he was driving, listening to this, or will
probably. Oh, yes, he's working on an army right now.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah,
Ryan, if you see my doubles partner, tell him that he owes me money.
Okay. I don't know why I have to, but
you're the conduit. You're the conduit.
Okay. What do I get out of it? Do I get a hug?
No. By
Can we have a sleepover?
I did deliver your droidicas for you, by the way, to Anthony, so he has...
well done. Anthony owes me $5.
I did tell him he owes you $5 as well, so yeah.
It could be Canadian or USD.
If it's Canadian dollars, you might as well just consider it a donation, because it's probably going to be of nil value by the time it gets to you, so...
And you think 5 USD will be of value? Okay.
You were on...
So,
you were on the show...
Ryan...
What are you writing me, Ben? What are you writing me in chat here?
What? Who?
Oh, I don't know. Ben sent me some sort of chat message.
Oh, okay.
Chat, I gotta go read it. So.
Oh, what's up, Andrew?
Did I?
Has your wife gotten to use a Christmas present yet from the Christmas giveaway?
Has who?
Your wife.
Oh yeah, she did. She got it. She loves it. She's keeping it.
Has she used it? Played with it?
Seeing as her partner who plays left, no, she has not.
Okay.
I'm just calling it right now. I can't wait for Lindsay to win a Worlds invite, and Ryan not.
It's a tag.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
I wouldn't say never, and I.
Oh no, I would say never. I would put my life on it. It's never going to happen.
All right, I'm writing the contract now.
All right.
Mark that down. That's April 4th, 2023.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, challenge accepted.
Yeah,
I'm going to pass this through here to get witnesses to sign it. Here you go.
You know, every time I tell my wife that there's no way that she could ever do something, it always goes so good for me. Like, it always just goes over so well. Well, yeah.
I'm never going to be held up in customs.
I can't make that utterance. That would be non-factual for sure. So, all right,
I will
folks,
never be allowed in the U.S.
I want to say real quick.
Oh, go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew, listen, you've talked enough tonight, Andrew. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, come on.
No. I want to say the last one of the last pictures from AMG's reveals. We finally know where all the organized promos have been hiding from the lackluster OP kits we've gotten.
Yup.
There they are.
Yep. Surprise.
Hey, I'm happy.
Tournament kit.
May 4th, by the way, confirmed that the next season, and the competitions will begin to
On a Thursday.
make your way back to Worlds. You got basically from May 4th until probably Adepticon weekend, assuming that Adepticon runs the Worlds again, which it likely will. And
we all know what May 4th is, right?
Thursday.
And
it's not taxes.
that's right.
Is that the day I get to take over FNF?
No,
Is it
No.
Your birthday?
that's my birthday.
Okay.
Oh, hey.
We were only
All right.
7 months away from getting that one, so
So
was born a
if you're
Star
part
Wars
of Ben's
fan.
meta, and there's a tournament on the 6th, crush him into the ground.
Late birthday present. Throw the game.
Yeah.
seems accurate. All right, well, we prattled on for extra time here, but that is what Adepticon was really all about. A bunch of prattling, jokes, tomfoolery, and shenanigans.
To hear more
And
prattling,
bullying.
To hear more prattling, listen for the Adepticon episode of Dice Time that'll be coming sometime this month, hopefully.
Should be great. We will be back on Friday. We'll get back into the serious nature of covering Legion things with some Legion fights. We're looking. Yeah, well, it's serious in the sense that we'll play some real Legion, and get some models on the table. We are very interested in getting some of our local players. So there may be some times where we kind of go back and have some more learning games and walk players through some of that. They're interested in kind of learning. I had a player contact me and say, I really want to come on the stream and just get trounced so that you can kind of walk me through what I was doing wrong. And I said, hey, it's actually doubly beneficial to play on stream, because then you can go back and watch all the things that you did that you might want to do differently, and then you can hear other people kind of give suggestions as to what you might want to do in that scenario going forward. So we might have some of that as well. I anticipate we will. So stay tuned. So it doesn't matter where you're coming into the game of Legion, whether you've been playing a while or just new or just getting into it or interested in it and you're just seeing this for the first time. Hopefully it's not the first episode you watch, because you probably think we talk about like random stuff all the time, like as Invaded. But good game also. Go check that out. Not a sponsor yet. And we'll talk more about Legion next week, and hopefully we'll continue to get some more drops for these characters. And I can't wait to see what Ben's going to do with Ahsoka, and see what the new version of Ladies Night looks like. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next week. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks Ryan. And we'll catch you guys later on. Cheers.
See you.